only run while Logan Gilbert and mates shut down the Crew with a two-hitter to end Milwaukee's 11-game win streak. Combined with the Cubs' win, Chicago and Milwaukee are again tied for the National League Central lead. The Mets stayed a half game behind the Phillies in the East, both winning last night. The Phillies and Red Sox play tonight at Citizens Bank Park with Jesus Luzardo and Lucas Giolito, the scheduled starters. We'll hear from Joe Torre on the leadoff spot when we return to Queens on the other side right after this on Odyssey Mets Radio.
What separates you from world-class joint surgery isn't a bridge or a tunnel. You don't have to travel far to get the best treatment. At RWJ Barnabas Health, you can stay in New Jersey, close to home, and be treated by the same doctors who treat professional athletes and who designed the surgical implants that are now used around the world. Orthopedic care. Do it right. Here. RWJ Barnabas Health. Learn more at rwjbh.org/ortho.
Fast starts, big wins. The season is in full swing, and so are the savings at Route 4 Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Paramus. We are fully stocked on all your favorites, like the new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee, now just $334 a month. Plus, don't miss available no money down on every vehicle. No money down. Now that's truly amazing. Now during employee pricing plus, visit ParamusJeep.com.
4 is always less for Paramus.
5524 due at signing. Available with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Stuck in traffic? Sure. Stuck with slow internet? Don't take slow for an answer. Switch to Optimum Fiber, the fastest fiber internet in the tri-state, starting at just $40 a month. And right now, get Optimum Mobile included free for 1 whole year. That's right. Fiber fast internet and mobile, you're cruising now. Visit Optimum.com. Call 8884-OPTIMUM or swing by your local store. But hurry, this deal won't last.
By now, you should know I can't get my game day started without my mug of my favorite Bigelow tea. For me, it's that smooth Bigelow green tea that tastes great and keeps my voice in peak condition, especially in extra innings. And I definitely need the English tea time for that day game after a night game. No matter how hectic your day gets, grab your favorite Bigelow tea and take a moment just for you. Join the millions of Mets fans that make Bigelow #1 in New York. Bigelow Tea, the official tea of Odyssey Mets Radio.
Now is the perfect time to get a Peerless Boiler. Don't wait. Go to PeerlessBoilers.com for more information and an installer near you. And remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best-built boilers.
This is Brandon Nimmo. You're listening to New York Mets Baseball on 880 and the Odyssey app.
Welcome back to the Odyssey Mets pregame show ahead of Game 3 between the Mets and the Angels. Pitching matchup for the finale, Sean Manaea against Brock Burt. Those are the guys getting warmed up. Brought to you by Total Ortho Express, the experts at getting you back to being you. Visit TotalOrthoSportsMed.com. It's time for the leadoff spot, brought to you by Laborers Local 731. Feel the power. And, of course, a lot of this homestand has been about David Wright, who had his number retired back on Saturday. He also went into the Mets Hall of Fame. So there have been a number of people around the ballpark over the...
We play in Toronto. Guerrero sends over some good stuff for the guys, so when we play in Toronto, I definitely dive into that.
You gotta be careful with Vladdy, bro, because a Dominican breakfast will put you to sleep, bro. ¿Cómo está sonando la comida dominicana ya?
La comida dominicana ya no sé cómo está sonando, porque obviamente mi esposa me cocina. O sea, hay restaurantes, pero no voy a comer comida latina.
Well, I wasn't going to say no to anything she asked me. She was 8 months pregnant, and turned out to be a self-help thing.
Oppo Taco.
I'm going to guess it's an opposite field, upper deck, maybe something like a...
Yeah, home run to the opposite field. You got it.
This is a good one, a hack.
I don't know. I mean, is it the same as like the layman's term hack, like a bad chef?
You've guessed correctly.
Okay.
Someone's a hack, someone that's just nailing it in.
Yeah.
They're not putting their heart into it.
About domestic violence. So that was the infancy of Safe at Home. And And we put safe rooms in schools for kids dealing with abuse. We have programs here in the New York area. We have them in LA, moved there, and, we've partnered with the Department of Mental Health out there. One in Cincinnati, and we have a couple in Tahiti, believe it or not. Wow. So there are a lot of kids that need our help. We know our program works, and we're here tonight. It's just to raise awareness. Yeah. In this society we're in right now, we're looking for role models, and it's interesting. We talked about, David Wright to start with, and as far as I'm concerned, he fits that mold because he's that guy that you look up to, and he only does the right thing.
Yeah. Well, Joe, I appreciate all the great work you guys are doing. Thanks for your time.
No, thank you very much.
That was the Hall of Famer Joe Torre on the leadoff spot, brought to you by Laborers Local 731. Feel the power. For more information on Safe at Home, you can go to joetorre.org to find out more about the great work that he and his wife Allie are doing. Take another break here on the Mets pregame show. We'll return to Queens right after this on Odyssey Mets Radio.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Payout via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Taking a Cadillac is more than just taking a drive. It elevates every journey. It's the smooth excitement of an all-electric Lyriq, the exhilarating thrill of pushing the limits in a Cadillac Optiq, the liberating freedom in the expansive XT6, or the confidence that commands attention in an Escalade or Escalade IQ. Discover which Cadillac is right for you and elevate every journey. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer.
Do all your grocery shopping right from your own dugout. Go to shop.foodbazaar.com, use promo code FANSGET10 and get $10 off your first order of $50. Plus, your first delivery is free. That's shop.foodbazaar.com.
Hey, healthcare workers of New York. Are you looking to make a difference? Margaret Teets Nursing and Rehabilitation Center is actively hiring nurses and CNAs. Call 718-298-7800. That's 718-298-7800.
Welcome back to the Odyssey Mets pregame show ahead of the series finale between the Mets and the Angels. First pitch just about 20 minutes from now. Time for our keys to the game, sponsored by Key Food. Look for all your favorite products at your local Key Food.
Let's open this up. Take a look at what we find. Looks like we've got Lauren Shahadi.
Animation is great.
We got Robert Flores, one of the stars of MLB Central with Lauren Shahadi. Then we got Mark DeRosa. Look at that. He looks like Superman, does he not?
Right? He was when he was with the Cubs.
Harold Reynolds looking ripped in a tracksuit in Studio 42. There I am. The hair's on point.
I know this guy.
Look at that jawline.
Well, if you look at the infield, they just came out and put, Diamond Dry everywhere except where McKinstry needed it right here.
Wonder when he realized he broke his chain. With an all-star bonus, he can get a new one.
I don't know what is causing this, but we have seen more bats leave players' hands at the plate this year than I'll ever remember.
Line shot. Got a chance. They counted it, though. They did.
You know what happened in 2014.
A World Series win for the San Francisco Giants.
Look at how clean that is. The gold, I don't know if you guys know what the gold means, but the gold means you are the World Series champions from the year before. But it's the honor of a lifetime, getting to win back-to-back World Series championships with two different teams.
Hope and why.
Let's get moving with Centers Healthcare. Centers Healthcare has a different approach to care. Here, you rehab, relax, recover, and go home. Our state-of-the-art technology empowers your rehab journey with us. Healing from surgery now comes with amenities like Starbucks, smart TVs, and personalized recreation. At Centers Healthcare, what matters most is getting you back to the life you had. Visit centershealthcare.com today or call us at 800-305-9151. Centers Healthcare. We're not just care. We are care that moves you.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
Want to be a real MVP? At California Cryobank, we're looking for some amazing guys to make a big difference. Help people's dreams of parenthood come true and earn up to $2,400 a month as a sperm donor. If you're 19 to 38, healthy, and can work in the U.S., learn more and find out if you qualify at spermbank.com. That's SPERMBANK.com for the chance to earn up to $2,400 a month as a sperm donor with California Cryobank, the #1 sperm bank in the world.
Welcome back as we wrap up the Odyssey Mets pregame show ahead of the series finale. Mets and Angels coming up in just a little bit. Player to Bank On is brought to you by California Cryobank. Build your family with the #1 sperm bank in the world. And today we bank on Brandon Nimmo, who's in the leadoff spot. Nimmo's had a pair of RBIs in the series, and he's done a great job carrying the top of the Mets order. That'll do it for the Odyssey Mets pregame show. On the other side, we join Keith Radd and the Hall of Fame radio voice, the New York Mets, Howie Rose, for lineups and first pitch between the Mets and Angels. Enjoy the ballgame, folks. This is Odyssey Mets Radio.
This has been the Odyssey Mets pregame show, brought to you by Spectrum. Get fast and reliable speeds on the network that moves with you. Spectrum, RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. Visit rwjbh.org. Margaret Tietz Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Roto-Rooter. Leave plumbing to the pros at Roto-Rooter. Route 4 Hyundai in Paramus, New Jersey. Invesco QQQ, the official ETF of the New York Mets. Invesco Distributors, Inc. Westbury Toyota, #1 in the tri-state and proud broadcast sponsor of Odyssey Mets Radio. Peerless Boilers. Visit peerlessboilers.com for a dealer near you. And by ELEC 825, building our future. This is Odyssey Mets Radio.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new
All right, I got a couple packs of 1986 Topps baseball cards. Let's open them up and see who's in here. I love the bubble gum. Oh my. Tom Seaver, but with a White Sox uniform on. The franchise for the Mets. I played with him in 1983, my rookie season. I was just in awe with these guys when I saw them in spring training and got a chance to play with them. Baseball cards of memories.
A snack that Freddie cannot resist.
I would have to say chips and guacamole. Organic mango, yeah.
Is that because of the strong Dominican contingent in the major leagues, bro? Has anybody ever struck out and gone crazy and smashed a cooler full of mangoes?
Nah, our team's not really into smashing each other's stuff, I guess.
Are you a seasoning guy? You like to drown your stuff in dips and sauces?
No. Gotta watch my figure.
And it looks great, brother.
I appreciate it.
Very sexy man.
Yeah,
Let's go, Freddie Freeman, ladies and gentlemen.
On USA.com. Invesco QQQ, the official ETF of the New York Mets. Invesco Distributors, Inc. The New York Lottery. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. The Rothenberg Law Firm. InjuryLawyer.com. Cadillac and your tri-state Cadillac dealers. Cadillac is the official luxury vehicle of the New York Mets. Thrivewell Infusion, the official IV partner of Mets Radio. Veg, ER for Pets. Official emergency veterinarian group of Mets Radio. Optimum Fiber. Don't take slow for an answer. The Chef IQ scents. Never under or overcook your chicken, fish, or meat again. Buy yours today at chefiq.com. Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's cars with a K. To donate your car today. And by Sloman's. The difference is human.
From Citi Field in Flushing, Queens, welcome to New York Mets baseball. This afternoon, the Mets face the Los Angeles Angels in the final game of a 3-game series. The starting pitchers, well, technically anyhow, a couple of left-handers. It's not that Brock Burke of the Angels is not left-handed. He's very much a southpaw, but he's not going to be around for very long. He's just the opener. So don't get used to him, but the Mets are happy to be getting used to Sean Manaea once again as he is back off of his half season on the injured list. Hi again, everyone. I'm Howie Rose along with Keith Rad. Mets will be looking for the series sweep this afternoon after their 3-2 win last night. And so as play starts today, the Mets now 14 over 500 at 58-44. They remain second in the National League East, just a half game behind the division-leading Philadelphia Phillies, while the Angels are at 49-52, and they are fourth in the American League West, 10 games behind first-place Houston. Our game time temperature is brought to you by Peerless Boilers. Visit peerlessboilers.com for information and a dealer near you. And remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best-built boiler. 80 degrees, sunny skies at game time. Back to look at the pitching matchup such as it is next on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Murano.
When you're ready to replace windows in your home with Marvin Windows and Doors, the team at Riverhead Building Supply can help.
We know that the installation process can seem scary, but we'll put your mind at ease as we guide you through each step from selecting your new Marvin Windows and Doors to installing them in your home.
To learn more about Marvin Windows and our installation services, visit a Riverhead Building Supply location or rbscorp.com.
I'm Jonathan Mayo, and for more than 20 years, I've traced the path of baseball's rising stars, navigating the back roads of the national pastime and basking in the glow of small-town America's spirit, where the team is woven into the fabric of everyday life, where it's more than just a game. It's a celebration of the people, their traditions, and the culture that give these places their soul. This is Grassroots.
Well, if you look at the infield, they just came out and put, Diamond Dry everywhere except where McKinstry needed it right here.
Wonder when he realized he broke his chain. With an all-star bonus, he can get a new one.
I don't know what is causing this, but we have seen more bats leave players' hands at the plate this year than I ever remember.
Line shot. Got a chance. They counted it, though. They did.
The newfangled idea of the time was night games, and teams thought that the shiny material of satin would reflect the stadium lights better. But satin comes with all kinds of issues. Despite all its drawbacks, this shiny material really does create a show-stopping jersey.
His own shot that he got. This will be outing number 3 and start number 2 for Manaea, who saw Kansas City and saw Cincinnati. 65 pitches to 69 pitches. He may be in the neighborhood of 80 pitches today as he continues to build. Certainly can be frustrating at times because you want to push him to 100 pitches and complete game, that whole thing, but it's a slow build for Sean Manaea today, who is vitally important to this New York Mets team. They will need him, especially in the playoffs, so he's really building toward that, making the start today against a team he's pretty familiar with. He spent a lot of time with the Oakland A's in the AL West. He has seen the Angels 14 different times, 13 times as a starter. It's a bullpen game today for the Angels, starting with Brock Burke. They did this on Friday as the road trip began down in Philly. They actually won that game 6-5 over the Phillies. The long man, the bulk reliever, is a lefty by the name of Jake Eder. He's the one that may throw 60, 65 pitches kind of thing. That will come out at some point. Doesn't mean he's the second guy out there. But right now the Mets are getting ready to face Brock Burke, who is also a left-handed pitcher. That is today's pitching matchup, sponsored by Richwood Savings Bank, multiplying the good for over 100 years. Finale of this 3-game set coming up.
There's the bunt. That could be trouble as Petrie. No, Stevie dives in and beats it. Good effort by Steve Lyons.
And that'll be a base hit right there. Good job. I'll tell you one thing, not a bad defensive play either by the Tigers.
Did you see that? Mm-hmm. He's going to get the dirt out, and all of a sudden he unbuckled his pants and they fell down.
Yeah, mine was a tops now as well. I hit my first walk-off last year against the Mets.
Jacob Young, Nationals win. Now he's got his first walk-off big league hit.
Dad had bought a stack of them, and I was like, I think we can get these ourselves, but he went ahead and bought a stack for himself.
Like business cards. There you go.
But it was awesome just to have that moment and have everyone so excited to have a picture of you is a fun moment.
What is it that kind of got you hooked as a foodie, so to speak?
My dad was really into food when I was a kid. He traveled for work and he would go to places all over Europe and stuff. He was in sales and I feel like he would come home and try and cook the things he ate overseas. And so as a kid, I was exposed to a lot of stuff that kids aren't usually exposed to. And so I credit my dad for that.
Fusion, but it doesn't have to be. At ThriveWell, you'll be provided with exceptional care, comfort, compassion, and convenience. Visit us at ThriveWellInfusion.com. That's ThriveWellInfusion.com. Saving lives, drip by drip.
Welcome back to Citi Field, finale of this three-game set. Los Angeles Angels, New York Mets. Today's starting lineups are sponsored by Ramsey Mazda. Choose wisely, choose Ramsey Mazda. The Angels, 49-52. Fourth place in the AL West, 10 games back of Houston. Shortstop Zach Neto leads off. Nolan Shotwell at first, batting second. Mike Trout DHing. He'll hit third. Taylor Ward, the cleanup man's in left field. Center fielder Joe Adell bats fifth. Jorge Soler homered yesterday. He's in right, batting sixth. The former Met, Travis d'Arnaud, wearing that Angels red. He'll be catching and batting seventh. Luis Rengifo, the second baseman, bats eighth. And the third baseman, former Dodger Chris Taylor, bats ninth. The bullpen game, the starter will be Brock Burke. Meanwhile, for the Mets, they've won 3 straight, 58 wins, 44 losses, half game behind Philly for second place in the division. The left fielder Brandon Nimmo leads off, followed by Francisco Lindor at short. Juan Soto in right field, batting third. And the first baseman, Pete Alonso, is the Mets cleanup hitter. Presented by ServPro Cleanup Restoration Construction, like it never even happened. Solly Marte DHing, Brett Beatty at second, Mark Vientos at third, the catcher Luis Torrens, and then the 9-man center fielder Tyrone Taylor for the Mets. Sun is shining. Mets have decided to wear their home pinstripe uniforms. Even though they won 3 games in a row in the City Connects, we'll see today if that's the difference in this game. Usually pretty close to the bottom of the list, but we'll see. Angels are wearing their red tops. Zach Neto ready to hit. Here's the Hall of Fame radio voice of the New York Mets, Howie Rose.
All right, thank you very much, Keith. And the first pitch on the way to Zach Neto is taken outside for ball 1. Neto had a 9-game hitting streak stop last night when he went 0 for 4. He's batting .277, 15 homers. And the 1-0 taken inside a fastball. 2 balls and no strikes as Minaya makes his third appearance, his second start since returning from the oblique injury, which cost him half the season. The 2-0 is on the outside corner of fastball, a called strike, and it's 2-1. Neto, Shotwell, and Trout due up for the Angels here in the first inning against Minaya. Vientos backs up a few steps at third now. And the 2-1 to Neto is in for a called strike, a sweeper, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. I was talking to Sean the other day about just where he feels he's at in his progression on his return. And he says the one thing he's still looking for a real good feel for is his sweeper/slider, because we'll throw them both. The 2-2 on the way, swung out and missed strike 3. They'll call that the sweeper. And it produces the strikeout of Zach Neto, and there's 1 man away. So with 1 down, it'll bring up Nolan Shotwell, and the first strikeout recorded by Mets pitching today. Brought to you by Weichert Realtors. Don't settle for a good agent. Go for a great one at Weichert.com. Nolan Shotwell had a big night last night with 4 hits, 2 singles, 2 doubles. First pitch to the left-hand batter, a sweeper in for a called strike, 0-1. And the Mets defensive alignment is brought to you by Orland and Cohen Orthopedic Group. Experiencing orthopedic pain? Well, they've got specialists for that. The 0-1. Swing and a miss at a fastball. And it's 0-2 to Shotwell. Alonso at first, Beatty at second, Lindor at short, Vientos at third. Nimmo, Taylor, Soto left to right in the outfield. Luis Torrens back behind the plate. Francisco Alvarez caught the first 2 games of this series. Bright sunshine. Outfield straight away. 0-2 pitch. High with a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Shotwell. And I was talking about the sweeper primarily as opposed to the slider. And here's the 1-2 on the way. Breaking ball swung out and missed strike 3. That's another sweeper. It produces another strikeout. So 2 men away, and Mike Trout will be the batter. And he says, he's still trying to find, although the early returns today are very promising, the right slot, not so much the grip as it is just the release point. And he was differentiating that between sweeper and slider when I asked him about the differences. Here's Trout, and he swings and misses at a fastball, 0-1. Mike Trout has had good numbers against Minaya in the past, 9 for 21 with 3 home runs. But Trout popped out to win the game last night. The 0-1 foul back to the screen, a fastball. It's 0-2. Ryan Stanek was given the closing opportunity last evening with Edwin Diaz down. And Trout popped out to first with runners at first and second. Here's the 0-2. off the outside corner. A little bit of a, I don't know, that was kind of the okey-doke there from Eric Backus because it looked like he was starting up with his hand. Carlos Mendoza's a little frustrated in the dugout. Minaya started to angle towards the dugout. And the 1-2, that's in there for a called strike 3. Got him on the inside corner with a fastball, and Sean Minaya strikes out the side in the first inning. Might actually.
Let's open this up. Let's take a look at what we find. Looks like we've got Lauren Shahadi.
Animation is great.
We got Robert Flores, one of the stars of MLB Central with Lauren Shahadi. Then we got Mark DeRosa. Look at that. He looks like Superman, does he not? Right?
He was when he was with the Cubs.
Harold Reynolds looking ripped in a tracksuit in Studio 42. There I am. The hair's on point.
I know this guy.
Look at that jawline.
Which personal injury lawyer to call?
Rothenberg Law Firm. Should we tell them that the Rothenberg Law Firm is injurylawyer.com?
Nah, I find this amusing. They'll figure it out.
Be a lawyer for injured ones. Injurylawyer.com.
Taking a Cadillac is more than just taking a drive. It elevates every journey. Experience the thrill of the Optic, the smooth exhilaration of the all-electric Lyriq, or the spacious Escalade or Escalade IQ. Discover which Cadillac is right for you. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer.
Oh, we go to the last of the first inning. Sean Minaya struck out the side in the top half. And now the opener for the Angels, Brock Burke, a left-hander, former Texas Ranger, will face Brandon Nimmo to lead off. Lefty against lefty, and the first pitch high and tied, a fastball in 93 for ball one. Nimmo drove in what proved to be the game-winning run with a two-out single in the fifth inning last night. And Brandon been on base 16 straight games now. The 1-0 on the way. Swing and a foul, and that one looked like it got the home plate umpire Eric Backus. And it's 1-1 strike to Nimmo, who's batting .260 with 18 home runs, 56 runs batted in. And we've talked a lot about the Mets batting order this year being top-heavy. Well, lately, Nimmo has certainly done his job. Here's the 1-1. In tight with another fastball, 2 balls and 1 strike. The next 3 in the order today, Lindor, Soto, and Alonso, have struggled recently. And we'll give you the composite numbers in a moment, and they'll really make you take notice. 2-1 on the way, hit high in the air to right field and deep. Back goes Soler onto the track. There she goes. Home run, Brandon Nimmo. He hits it into the Mets bullpen in right field. He was already halfway between first and second when that ball landed in the bullpen. No histrionics from Brandon Nimmo. Just his 19th home run of the year. Quick turn around the bases, and the Mets have a 1-0 lead as Nimmo goes deep against the left-hander.
He's such a pro against a lefty. Hanging slider. We've seen the mistake happen time and time again. Left on left, snapping a slider. You'd think it's going to be a good pitch, and Brandon Nimmo makes you pay. He did that against Carlos Rodon the other day when he hit a home run, a grand slam, and he does it here to open up the ball game.
Well, here's Francisco Lindor, switch hitter batting right, and the first pitch taken for a called strike, 0-1. Lindor, almost incomprehensibly, is 0 for his last 30, the longest 0 of his career. His average down to 245. And the 0-1 on the way, fastball high and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Mets' first run of the game, sponsored by Sloman's. Call or visit Slomans.com to schedule a free estimate on a new central AC system. Sloman's, the difference is human. 1-1. Burke deals. Swinging a high fly ball, left center field. That's pretty deep. Looks like it'll stay in the yard. Adele, the center fielder, makes the catch on the warning track right in front of the 370 mark. 1 away. Lindor gives it a nice run, but 0 for 31. And that'll bring up Juan Soto. The umpires lineup brought to you by RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. Visit rwjbh.org. Eric Backus has the plate. Brian Honora at first. Mike Estabrook at second. The crew chief, Laz Diaz, the umpire at third. First pitch to Soto. Check swing, roll it at third, right at Chris Taylor. He's got it. Overhands to first in time. 2 men away. And that's going to bring up Pete Alonso. So let's give you the revised numbers, including the 0 for 4 Lindor and Soto in this inning. Including Alonso's coming to the plate now, 2 for his last 33. Lindor is 0 for his last 31. Soto 2 for his last 21. So here's the first pitch from Burke to Alonso. Fastball, little bit low, 1-0. So combined 4 for 85 between Lindor, Soto, and Alonso, including this first inning. Think about that. The 1-0, weak swing and a miss at a fastball, 1-1. 4 for 85 from your 2, 3, and 4 hitters, who, of course, have carried this team for large stretches of this year. 1-0 Mets, 2 out, nobody on, bottom 1. 1-1 pitch, and Alonso fouls it back to the screen. It's 1-2. Mets manager Carlos Mendoza was talking before the game about Pete being a little bit late lately on pitches, not recognizing as well as he usually does. And he had a little talk with Pete this morning before the media spoke to Carlos. 1-2 on the way, a big swing at a fastball and a foul back to the screen. Burke dialed that one up to 98 miles an hour.
You wonder if it's maybe the hand involved too. Remember, he hurt his hand the other day, a little bruising, and well, to be on time for 97, 98 like he's facing right now, you've got to have that full-on grip strength. So who knows if that's part of it too.
1-2 the count. Burke delivers. Swung out and missed. Strike 3. Got him with a fastball at 99, and that retires the side. But the Mets get the jump. A run on a hit, the Nimmo homer. Nobody left, and at the end of 1. Mets 1, the Angels nothing on Odyssey.
A snack that Freddie cannot resist.
I would have to say chips and guacamole. Organic mango, yep.
Is that because of the strong Dominican contingent in the major leagues, bro? Has anybody ever struck out and gone crazy and smashed the cooler full of mangoes?
Nah, our team's not really into smashing each other's stuff, I guess.
Are you a seasoning guy? You like to drown your stuff in dips and sauces?
No. Gotta watch my figure.
And it looks great, brother.
I appreciate it.
Very sexy man.
Yeah,
Let's go, Freddie Freeman, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Ryan, PSA dove in. Do we have them graded?
We do. This is the first set of graded cards from the 2024 Topps MLB Network set.
I'm so excited about this. Now, they all have the same grade, or?
No.
So one of us will be like the highest graded card.
Could be. There could be multiple. So first up, we got Mark DeRosa.
Of course, D-Rose a 10 out of 10. Handsome, athletic. All right.
Leads off, and the first pitch breaking ball is in for a called strike, 0-1. Ward batting .231, 23 home runs, 76 runs batted in. He went 0 for 3 with a walk last night. And the 0-1 pitch lined to left field, a base hit. It was a sweeper from Minaya, and Ward shoots it into left for a leadoff single here in the second inning, and that will bring up Joe Adell. The Angels do a whole lot of their damage on the home run ball. They're second to the Yankees in home runs in the American League. Ward, who's on at first with that leadoff single, has 23, which is tied for 5th in the league. And here is Adell with 21, tied for 7th. Right-hand batter, the pitch to Adell is swung on and fouled into the mid of the catcher Luis Torrens for strike 1. So the Mets reversing the script a little bit. They hope the end result is the same. Remember, they fell behind each of the first 2 games of this series. The 0-1 taken down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Mets have the early lead this afternoon. We're in the second inning, which is powered by Invesco QQQ, the official ETF of the New York Mets. 1-1 to Adell. Now the pitch. outside with a fastball, 2-1. Tomorrow's innovation awaits with Invesco QQQ. Let's rethink possibility.
Love how you belt that cue to the back row there.
Oh, don't worry if you missed it. There's more coming. The 2-1 is a breaking ball that's high as Minaya misses with a sweeper. And it is 3-1 to Adele with Jorge Soler waiting on deck.
Angels are getting their bullpen going again. Sam Bachman, a righty, warming up.
Here's the 3-1. Adele pops it foul off to the right and out of play. And it's now a full count on Adele. Mets will have Marte, right-hand batter, Beatty, a left-hand hitter, and then Vientos, Torrens, and Taylor, all right-hand batters. Due up in the second inning, and it's amazing we're even thinking about matchups like that this early, but that's what happens with an opener. The 3-2 foul back to the screen. So it remains full, because as we mentioned, Eder might be the bulk guy. He's a left-hander, but with all those righties due up next, well, it may well be that Ray Montgomery wants to go in that right-handed pitching direction for the first one up after the opener. Burke, who has probably pooped it in the shower right now. I still say openers.
A lot going on in that sense.
Yeah, well, here's the payoff pitch to Adele, and it's inside, ball 4. Missed with a sweeper, and that puts runners at first and second, nobody out, and a dangerous hitter, a man with power, Jorge Soler, coming up, and he homered last night. I don't know. It just seems like the opener is bad for baseball. You know, whatever the results are, and you can justify them based on, you know, certain bits of data and information. Remember when people would buy a ticket based on who the starting pitcher would be? Well, now you don't even know if that starting pitcher is going to go more than 5 innings. Here is Soler. First pitch lays off a high fastball. It's ball 1. So it's really going to be mix and match for the Angels today. A lot of teams have done it. The Mets did it recently. The Yankees did it in the first game after the All-Star break. Ward at second, Adele at first. No out, we're in the second. 1-0 Mets. And the 1-0 swung on and missed by Soler, 1-1.
Dodgers were throwing it against the Mets in the NLCS, and that was really when it got to a point of craziness because they were just, you could tell those are the give-up games in a sense. They won a few of them.
1-1, swung on and missed. Soler, a good fastball hitter, beaten at 93 there. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Soler batting .216, 12 homers, 34 RBIs. Spent some time on the IL with a back injury. Outfield straight up, the 1-2. In there, strike 3 call. He throws him with a fastball. So Minaya has his 4th strikeout, which is to say with 1 out in the second, every out that he's recorded has been via the strikeout. And that will bring up old friend Travis d'Arnaud, who's doing some catching with the Angels. Batting .234 with 6 homers, 17 runs batted in. He's always hit well against the Mets since leaving them. Right-hand batter, the first pitch swung on and missed, 0-1. Did a lot of damage against the Mets when he was with the Atlanta Braves. And had a great time catching up with Travis before the game yesterday. You know, I saw him, and as I usually do, I say, "Hey, kid." And I realized I can't call you a kid anymore. The 0-1 hit in the air foul down the right field line out of play. It's 0-2. And he chuckled because he's 36 now. And he said, "I call all these guys kid." So imagine how I felt.
He's the wily veteran now in that Angels clubhouse.
And he's got a pretty good idea about his post-baseball career. He and his brother Chase run a very successful baseball academy. 0-2 on the way, lifted in the air to right center field. Drifting back is Taylor. And he makes the one-hand catch, 2 men away, tagging at second. Ward. He'll go to third as the throw comes into second. Adele holds on at first, so 2 out. Runners at the corners and Luis Rengifo coming up. Some scores from Nissan, who make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. Well, suddenly the Tigers have hit the skids, and some of that is at the hands of the Pittsburgh Pirates of all teams. Pirates are leading the Tigers 6-0 in the bottom of the third in Pittsburgh. Jay Horowitz's grandson, Spencer, has hit a salami.
Wow.
A grand slam. Kosher salami.
Jay must be thrilled.
Absolutely, he should be. Rengifo, right-hand batter, and the first pitch, fastball taken high and away for ball one. Giants and Braves are scoreless, top of the fourth. Justin Verlander is on the mound today for the Giants against Spencer Strider, and boy, Verlander might be close to the end. He has really struggled. The 1-0 to Rengifo, taken high and outside, ball two. Rengifo was 2 for 4 last night, 3 for 4 on Monday night. He's batting .243 with 4 homers, 22 RBIs. Mets are leading 1-0 with 2 out, runners at the corners here in the second inning. Matt 2-0 to the switch hitter, batting right-handed. The pitch, fastball missed outside, ball 3. With Chris Taylor, veteran right-hand batter, waiting on deck. Manaea's 3-0. He takes it. It's in for a called strike. 3 balls and a strike. Taylor in center field, several steps the other way against Rengifo. And the 3-1, way outside, ball 4. Second walk of the inning allowed by Manaea, and that loads the bases. And so Adele goes down to second, and Ward's at third with Chris Taylor coming up. We'll pause for station identification.
This is Odyssey Mets Radio on WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Howie Rose, Keith Radd with you at Citi Field. Mets lead the Angels 1-0, but the Angels have the bases loaded, 2 out here in the second. Mets pitching coach Jeremy Hefner is out at the mound talking with Sean Manaea. So the slowdown in the action is brought to you by Iservay.
We've seen in these outings from Manaea where he strikes out 4, looks great, but he's already walked 2. So command is not sharp yet, not mid-season form yet. And you can tell he's kind of tinkering, as you mentioned, just looking for the sweeper. It's still in that mode for him, right, where this may be mentally the mid to the end of April in a sense, coming out of spring training. Only here he is in late July, so it's really not a time to get falling behind, but here he is, bases loaded.
Here's Chris Taylor, first pitch on the way to the former Dodger, inside for ball 1. A nice career with the Dodgers, was the MVP of the National League Championship Series back in 2017 when the Dodgers would lose the World Series to the Astros. The 1-0 breaking ball is taken low. It's 2-0, so he missed with a sweeper, and he's got nowhere to put Taylor, who's hitting just $197 with a homer and 5 runs batted in. Taylor missed 34 games with a fractured hand. The 2-0 fastball is in for a called strike. It's 2-1. So Manaea, who threw 65 and then 69 pitches in his first 2 outings, is now up to 37, which is a lot in the second inning. The 2-1 on the way. Swinging a one-hopper toward short, waiting on it, Lindor. He's got it and fires to second for the force play, and that retires the side. So, no runs, 1 hit, 2 walks in the second inning here at Citi Field. It's the Mets 1 and the Angels nothing on a leadoff homer in the first inning by Brandon Nimmo, and leading off the second will be Starling Marte, who's back after some time on the IL with a knee bruise. Right-hand batter, and the first pitch breaking ball from Backman. Sam Backman, the right-hander, is outside for ball 1. The second in what will no doubt be a parade of pitchers out of the Angels bullpen today as they use Burke as a 1-inning opener. And the 1-0 to Marte is in for a called strike, a slider. So the count 1-1. Starling batting .270 with 4 homers, 20 runs batted in. And he steps right into it. He's in our 5th batter spotlight. Brought to you by Key Food, and a line drive base hit going into left field for Marte. Well, look for all of your favorite products at your local Key Food. Key Food and their family of supermarkets. Marte so excited about wearing that mantle in this game that he drives one into left field to get the Mets going in the second.
I was wondering because when he went on the IL, he was hitting well. I mean, hitting over 350 his last 17 games before that stretch. Just good to see because he is becoming more and more of an impact bat, even in a smaller role than he's had at times in his career.
So here is Brett Beatty. And the first pitch to Brett way outside and high, ball 1. Beatty's now hit in 5 straight. He went 1 for 4 yesterday with a double in the 5th inning and would score on a home run by the following hitter, Francisco Alvarez. Today it's Vientos on deck. 1-0 to Brett. Taken upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. He's got 11 home runs. 10 of them have come in this ballpark, and a couple of them have been absolutely scorched. And I was wondering yesterday in talking to Carlos Mendoza if there's anything different about Beatty lately. 2-0 is taken low, a slider 3-0, because he's had little spurts before where you've thought, this looks like it. He's emerging, he's turning the corner, only to fall back again. Carlos had an interesting answer. The 3-0, in for a called strike, 3-1. He says, if this becomes a more sustainable stretch, he thinks the reason will be a lot less mechanical, having to do with his work at the plate, than it will be the comfort level that he's feeling now. He feels like he's a big leaguer and belongs. 3-1 taken on the outside corner, a called strike, 3-2. Carlos was saying you can tell just by the way he moves around the clubhouse, by the way he interacts with his teammates, that to Carlos right now, this is no longer a kid just trying to break through and prove he's better than a AAA or even a 4A player. He feels like he belongs, and that's gone a long way towards relaxing him, in Carlos's opinion, at the plate and in the field where he's been terrific. So 3-2 the count to him as he's taken his time out. We'll see if Marte's running here. They say that his running is fine despite the bruise in the leg. Quick throw to first, and Marte dives back in. Obviously, Beckman thinking right along with the possibility that Marte might be running here on 3-2. Could mitigate that. It's that Beatty does strike out a lot. So, we'll see. Third baseman Taylor deep and way off the line. Marte, pretty good sized lead at first. Not going, though. And the pitch foul back over the screen. And it remains full to Brett Beatty with Vientos on deck and Torrens to follow. Should remind you again that this second inning is powered by Invesco QQQ, the official ETF of the New York Mets. 3-2 to Beatty, not running from first, and a drive to right field. That's going to be in for a base hit. Played on one hop by Soler. Marte to second will stop there. And Brett Beatty has now hit in 6 straight games. Back-to-back singles with Marte. Runners at first and second, nobody out. And Mark Vientos coming up. And remember, tomorrow's innovation awaits with Invesco QQQ. Let's rethink possibility. Invesco Distributors Incorporated.
Here comes Barry Enright, pitching coach, talking to Sam Bachman. Again, the second guy out of the bullpen as the Angels look like they're getting somebody else up there in a bullpen game. But Beatty continues to impress. He was ahead in a sense. It was, the count was in his favor, and then all of a sudden Bachman worked his way back in. Beatty ends up seeing 7 pitches, and when it's time to go at the end there, and he gets a pitch to hit on 3-2, he's right there, sticking his nose in there. And it's good to see as he builds on whatever this may be over the next few weeks. But whatever it is right now, he's harnessed it nicely.
So Mark Vientos, Luis Torrens, and Tyrone Taylor, the bottom third of the order, will be up for the Mets now, trying to expand on this 1-0 lead. Last night, the bottom third of the order did some damage, as it did on Monday night against the Angels. So we'll see if the Mets can get more production out of the lower third again. Here's Vientos, right-hand batter. First pitch, in for a called strike. It's 0-1. He's hitting .223 overall with 6 homers, 25 runs batted in. But has been making pretty consistently hard contact lately, and over the last 10 games he's gotten some results. And the ground ball up the middle, though. It's one-handed by Neto. Steps on second for one and throws to first. A double play. Marte goes for third, or goes to third, but just like that, 2 men away as Vientos grounds into the 6-3 double play, and Luis Torrens will be next.
Yeah, Neto, we saw him make an error last night, but this is more his style up the middle. Knows exactly what kind of timing that he has with Vientos running, so had to call off Rengifo at second there. Took it himself nice and easy.
So now Torrens batting at .220. First pitch, swing and a miss at a hard sinker. 97 with sink from Bachman, and the count 0-1. The lefty hitter continues to throw in the Angels bullpen. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a little pop-up behind second base. Neto back on the outfield grass, makes the one-hand catch, and that retires the side. So the Mets had first and second, no out, but failed to convert. 2 hits, 1.
Guess who that is? Roger McDowell. Check him out. He has his uniform on upside down with the shoes on the hand, and it looks like he's walking on his hands. Has his cap hanging down. That's supposed to be his head. Well, the Mets really trying to turn it around. They do, however, trail in this ball game 4-0. I love that.
Well, if you look at the infield, they just came out and put, Diamond Dry everywhere except where McKinstry needed it right here.
Wonder when he realized he broke his chain. With an all-star bonus, he can get a new one. I don't know what is causing this, but we have seen more bats leave players' hands at the plate this year than I ever remember.
Line shot. Got a chance. They counted it, though. They did.
Mets Radio.
Well, Sean Manaea is making his second start of the year for the Mets, and in both of them, including today, struck out the side in the first inning and then had to deal with some traffic aboard in the second. But he kept the Reds off the board in his first start in the second inning. Same for the Angels today. So it's 1-0 Mets as Manaea on the mound to begin the third inning here, Keith.
Yeah, facing Zach Neto, so second time through. Neto, Shotwell, and Trout. First pitch to the righty shortstop. Swing and a miss and a sweeper. It's 0-1. And we've noticed over just this short series that Neto at the top of the lineup is a very aggressive hitter. Almost leans and flies forward through the zone. Sell out for some velocity. But he's run into a couple. He's had 15 home runs at the top of this lineup. A lineup that hits a lot of home runs. There's the windup and the 0-1. Reached for, popped in the air, foul down the right field side, and it's 0-2. Former first-round pick in 2022, and once again, like many Angels, flew to the big leagues. Already his third major league season, only 24 years old. Here's the 0-2 to him. Fouled back off the top of the glove of the catcher, Torrens. Hard to squeeze that one. It stays 0-2 on Neto, who is very quickly rising the ranks in a short time as career home runs for an Angels shortstop. He's fourth all-time already. I feel like he just got here. Here's the 0-2. Fouled back again, and it stays 0-2. He has 46. Eric Ibar, remember him? 47 home runs. Dick Schofield, 48 of them. But the leader in the clubhouse, most home runs as an Angels shortstop with 111, Jim Fregosi. It's a name that shudders a lot of Mets fans from a different era. Here's the 0-2. Reached for and popped in the air to right field. Along the line, Soto moving over, settles and makes the catch. Just a couple steps from that warning track area in fair territory down the right field line. And there's one away.
It's not Fregosi's fault that the Mets made a dumb deal.
Well, we retired David Wright's number 5 this weekend. You always think about third base being, as many have called it over the years, a black hole for this franchise. Just trying to find somebody that can take the reins and run with it. David, Hojo, some of the few that were able to do that. Pitch to Shotwell, misses low, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Fregosi was supposed to be that guy. People that wonder, well, where did Nolan Ryan go? Well, that was him going out the door to the Angels and Fregosi coming back. 1-0 pitch in for a strike, and it's 1-1.
There's one other problem with Fregosi. He wasn't a third baseman. He was a shortstop who they figured would be able to play third base. His range was diminishing, and that's understandable.
Here's a 1-1. Shotwell swings over a slider, 1-2.
But his best days were over. He hurt his thumb in spring training, the first spring training with the Mets, never got going. They released him midway through the next season, and Ryan pitched for about another 25 years or whatever.
Shotwell calls for time, steps out. 1-0 Mets, top 3 on a beautiful sunny day in Queens. Kicking the 1-2. Lifted behind second towards shallow right. Beatty out, but Soto comes walking in, makes the catch, and underhand flips it right to Beatty, who's in front of him for the second out.
You know what? I'm just doing the math in my head. I think Ryan did pitch for 20 years after the Mets released Fregosi. I think 93 was Ryan's last year. That's easy enough to look up, but think about that. They released Fregosi in 73, and Ryan pitched 2 more decades.
Pitch to Mike Trout. Taken outside for ball 1. As I said, it frazzles a different generation of Mets fans when you bring up Jim Fregosi's name. I had a feeling I knew who was in the room with me when I brought it up, but that gives you an idea about how frustrating it all was. There's Trout. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Popped up foul, backing out of play. And yes, Nolan Ryan pitched in the 1960s and then finished in the 1990s, which is insanity.
Was it 93, the last year?
You're absolutely right, with the Texas Rangers at the ripe age of 46. 1-1, Trout takes high, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
It's amazing. 20 years after they released Fregosi.
Mike struck out looking his first time. Manaya's 2-1 to him. Breaking ball, nabs the inside corner, a sweeper, and it's 2-2 as we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Bob, though, he outdid Nolan Ryan with his tenure in the major leagues. Here's the 2-2. Trout cracks the ball to right center field. Pretty deep. Soto and Taylor on the run. Taylor to the wall. He leaps. It's gone. Mike Trout goes the other way out to right center. Puts it into the Angels bullpen. The Angels have homered a bunch in this series. And the home run here in the top of the third ties the game 1-1.
Career home run number 396. Career run batted in number 999 for Mike Trout. So 2 big milestones are imminent.
Now Trout in this series, the Mets have been challenging him with some fastballs and basically daring him to hit. And they had won the battle a bunch with him this series until now. So here's Taylor Ward in a tie game. First pitch fastball rings in for a strike on the outside corner. And it's 0-1. Trout's 18th of this season. He's under contract through 2030. 0-1. Ward takes a little bit low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, there's certainly part of you as a Mets fan going, well, I wish Trout didn't hit a home run, but then the baseball fan gets you. 1-1. Missed outside. 2 balls and a strike. For a guy like Trout, as you start to see the injuries pile up toward the back end of his career, the time that he will be out there start to dwindle, you start to get a feeling. 2-1 in for a strike, 2-2, that you realize a great player's career is toward the back nine, so to speak. And for Mike Trout, so many injuries, but one of the great careers in our lifetime. 2-2. Line foul down the right field side and out of play. For Trout, I mentioned this is his 15th major league season. He's been in 1 playoff series. 1 in 2014. He's had 12 playoff at-bats. 2-2. Hit to third. Vientos to his left, scoops it up off his left cleat. Fires across in time. Side retired. So Mike Trout goes deep to even this game. Mets 1, Angels 1, middle of 3 on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan. One finale of this 3-game set. Mets going for the sweep today before coincidentally heading out to California for a 6-game trip. Giants and Padres. Tyrone Taylor about to face the newest Angels pitcher in this bullpen game, and a guy that'll probably be out there for at least a few innings. Lefty Jake Eder. Spells his last name E-D-E-R. No, it's near lunchtime. You're probably wondering. Here's the first pitch to the righty Tyrone Taylor. Missed up high with ball 1 to the Mets center fielder. And Centers Healthcare, I'd like to remind you, they're not just care, they're care that moves you. CentersHealthcare.com. Some changes for the Angels behind Eder, who's out there on the mound. There's the windup and the 1-0 to Tyrone. Missed down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Kevin Newman is now playing third base. Chris Taylor was there, but now Taylor goes to right field. And Jorge Soler, who was in right field, has come out. His back has been bothering him at times this year, so who knows if that flared up on him. There's the 2-0. Taylor takes high, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. I did notice on the Beatty single in the second inning that was right at Soler. He played it in front of him on a hop, but he really didn't move well even at all getting toward that ball.
And I wasn't sure. This is funny because I thought something else, too.
Here's a 3-0 to Taylor. In for a strike, 3-1.
I don't know if any of it was by design, thinking. It looked like he threw his glove up to try to decoy Marte a little bit, who was the runner at first, but I'm not sure if that was reactionary to something he might have felt in his back or if it was a decoy, but yeah, something was up there.
Here's the 3-1. Up high, ball 4. Eder comes into the game, walks his first man, and the Mets have Taylor on at the 9th spot, setting it up for Nimmo, Lindor, and Soto. That will follow here. So second time through the lineup, but for the Mets in these bullpen games, this where it could get tricky. You want to get comfortable against the starting pitcher, but there isn't one today. It is a bullpen game, so you're barely going to see somebody twice. And Nimmo recognizing that. He saw Brock Burke to start, but Jake Eder out there right now. Left on left. Nimmo homered his first time. Pitch. Hit him. Caught him on the shoulder. It's a hit by pitch. He's on base, and Taylor goes to second. Well, in a bullpen game, it can feel like roulette at times. You just have no idea what the next guy has. And I remember Buck Showalter said something to us in 23 about the long man, which is what Eder is. He's only a long man if he can get somebody out. And so Eder has come into the game. He has walked Taylor, and he's hit Brandon Nimmo. Not a good start for the Angels reliever. It'll bring up Francisco Lindor, who is desperate. We've said that at bat after at bat to try to get off the schneid. He is 0 for his last 31, including the fly out to the warning track his last time up. It's the worst stretch in his career. And remember, we mentioned last year at a 1 for 31. He'd kill to be 1 for 31 right here if he gets a base hit. And that would also mean 1 for 1 moving forward. Switch hitter batting right. Tie game in the third. Pitch. In for a strike, slider. And it's 0-1. Eder's with the White Sox last year. Came over to the Angels in a trade for some cash. Lefty set, first and second for the Mets, tie game. The 0-1. Missed in tight, slider. That's 1 ball and 1 strike. So Lindor, again 0 for his last 31. You have Soto on deck and Alonso to follow. All three, as we told you, have been struggling. Mets have had a couple of base runners in this game. At first and second, nobody out in the second didn't score. Here they are with the same spot in the third inning. The 1-1 pitch. tap down the left field line foul. A little out in front, a little jam, and it's 1-2.
And this is so typical of hitters who are in prolonged slumps. Think of how many times, we can probably find it, but it really doesn't need to be quantified to the exact number, but how many times has Lindor been behind 0-1, 0-2, 1-2? Constantly hitting from behind in the count.
Taylor at second, Nimmo at first. Big hole on the right side. The 1-2. Line toward left field. There's a base hit for Lindor. Taylor rounds third with that great speed. He scores standing without a throw. Nimmo goes to second. Francisco Lindor snaps the 0-for-31 and gives the Mets a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the third with a single to left field. Fans are on their feet with as much support as possible for him. And I'm sure those shoulders get to relax now for Lindor.
And he showed absolutely no signs of exhaling or reacting to the hit. His reaction was the same as it would have been under any other set of circumstances. Inwardly, of course, there's got to be a little bit of relief. Now he just playfully motions something over to the Mets dugout, almost with a little dance step. But that's about it. That's the extent of the celebration.
And here's Soto. Mets right back in the same spot. First and second, nobody out. 2-1 lead now over the Angels. Eater, the lefty, deals. Soto swings and fouls that pitch off. Just got a bite of the slider. He swung so hard that on his follow-through, he crumpled even further down to the ground. That count 0-1 on Juan, who's 2 for his last 21. Despite this, Lindor, Soto, and Alonso struggling. The Mets have won 3 straight. Eater's pitch. Popped up. Left side of the infield. Here comes Newman down from third. Ball toward foul ground. He makes the catch. Third of the way up the line, straddling the line. It is an infield fly rule as well, but a pop out for Soto. So 1 out. Runners remain at first and second. And Pete Alonso coming up. Now's the perfect time to get a Peerless Boiler. Don't wait. Go to peerlessboilers.com for more information and an installer near you. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers. Now, Pete is 4 for his last 38, 0 for his last 13, and one of those messy streaks on the bad side. So I'll erase that right here. Mets ahead by a run. Pitch. A little bit low with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 1-0. Eater was drafted by Miami, was traded to the White Sox, and then purchased by the Angels. But he's actually drafted by the Mets at one point. Did not sign. 1-0. Fouled into the mitt. Big rip at 94. A pitch down low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. He's from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Mets drafted him out of high school, Cavalry Christian Academy down there, but chose to go to college and made a good decision. Went to Vanderbilt and was a 4th-round pick. Big kid, 6'4", 225. The 1-1. Alonso drives the ball, left center field. This one on the way, soaring into the seats. Second deck shot, home run. A 3-run blast by Pete Alonso breaks it open in the 3rd inning. For Alonso, it's home run number 248, clanking off that second deck at left center field. And the Mets lead it 5-1 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. His first home run since the Baltimore series, and a big one to get him in front.
Slump-busting inning for a couple of Mets.
Lindor needed it. Alonso needed it. Both of them found it. And that ball was crushed by Pete. It's a home run number 22 this year. That RBI total racks him up to now 80 RBIs. And here's Starling Marte, 5-1 New York. Eater pours it in there. Pitch in for a strike, and it's 0-1. That ball traveled 439 feet out of sight. Marte singled his first time. Pitch. Popped up foul off to the right and out of play. So Pete's at 248 with these home run hitters. And Pete is, even though he's had a great year going to all fields, he's still a power hitter. They come in bunches. Well, we thought we were going to see something in the Baltimore series when he got going again, and then it fizzled. 0-2. Chopped toward third, but foul on the line, and it stays no balls and 2 strikes. Darryl Strawberry's record, 252, is a couple steps closer. He's 4 away from tying. And I know Pete is outwardly, publicly not thinking about it or vocalizing how much he's thinking about it, but he's thinking about it. 0-2. Check swing roller foul to the right. It stays 0-2. One clue from last year leads me to believe that he'd love to break the record here in this building. And remember, he said that his most memorable home run wasn't the one in Milwaukee, but the one here against the Dodgers. Had both of us shaking our heads at that. 0-2, sails high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Remember, Pete, of course, the home run in Milwaukee, we'll never forget it. You might forget the one that he hit against the Dodgers here in Game 3 to get the Mets back in the series. But because of the fan reaction to the home run, he loved it a little bit more. 1-2. Fouled away by Marte. Stays a ball and 2 strikes.
You know, it's interesting you say that because I remember David Wright over the weekend, and Terry Collins, too, saying that their favorite David Wright home run was the one in the World Series here.
1-2 on Marte with 1 out. The pitch. Outside, 2-2.
The first one I think of, though, is the one in Philadelphia in his first game back after the 4 months out rehabbing his back. Because it was so symbolic, and obviously so is a World Series home run. That would be the only World Series game they won 10 years ago.
5-1 Mets in the third. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. High fastball puts Marte away. So it's been a fruitful inning for the Mets. Still going here, but now 2 outs, and Brett Beatty coming up. So the Mets will have 3 games in San Francisco. Not easy to hit home runs in San Francisco. They'll go to Petco in San Diego for 3. Maybe a little easier to get it out toward that lumber company building down the left field line, but Pete's getting close. Left on left here, Eater deals. And Beatty taps one foul. Little dribble up the first base line, and it's 0-1. Be one of the first 15,000 fans at the August 2nd Mets game against those same San Francisco Giants and get a Francisco Alvarez bobblehead from Coca-Cola. For tickets, go to Mets.com/tickets. Beatty not over to the dugout to get a Coke, but get a new bat. Just broke his bat. A bright orange bat. And he gets a little stick and spray from Vientos, also colored orange. Sprays it on the handle to get a grip here. About to walk into a bat that continues on 0-1, but his second at bat of the day. Did single to right his first time to continue what is now a 6-game hitting streak. So Eater's given up 4 in the inning. Lefty takes a deep breath. Glove in front of his face, steals home. Breaking ball bends to the outside corner, called a strike, and it's 0-2. Gotta feel good for Carlos Mendoza and even Sean Manaea thinking about, okay, big lead here. Try to open things up, get Manaea deep in this game. 0-2. Reached for, grounded to second. Rengifo to his right, gobbles it up, slings it to first in time. Beatty retired, and the inning is over. But the Mets score 4 times, punctuated by a 3-run, 400.
What is something that you snack on that you don't worry about?
I love Uncrustables. I could eat like 10 of them in one sitting.
And no regard for his body?
I don't even wait till I thaw out.
Hey, put them in a toaster next time. And toast it, yep. It'll change your life.
Yeah, just an incredible play by Riley Green.
You're an all-star on the field and off, bro.
I appreciate it.
Hey,
thank you.
Riley Green, bro, food genius.
877 Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today. Mets up 5-1 on the Los Angeles Angels. A win today would mean a series sweep for the Mets, who won on Tuesday night and Monday night to start this series. Remember, they won the final game of that Red Series on Sunday to salvage the final game of that. So that has kick-started a little momentum here for the Mets. And now with a big lead, maybe a little momentum for Sean Manaea, who's had 58 pitches. Going to work on Joe Adell to start the fourth. First pitch missed outside with ball one. Adell, then Newman, then Travis d'Arnaud. That's who's on deck. Brought to you by TimberTech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit TimberTech.com. 1-0 pitch is fouled back to the screen. That's 1 strike. So you might have noticed that if you're watching the game or seeing some clips, the Mets over the last few days have had a dugout celebration. Here's the 1-1 to Adell. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Usually the Mets, as we've seen most of the time, they go down to the end of the dugout and they pose for kind of a team photo with a smile and give it the peace sign, look into the dugout camera. But I just noticed this week, it looks like a big surfboard, but it's not what they're holding up to the camera. It's a big flip-flop. But even then, I don't think that's what it is. The 1-2, chop foul at home plate. It says 1-2. Officially, it is a big flip-flop. It looks like a surfboard. It's blue. It has little white strips where you put your toes and things like that. But in the Latin American community, the chancla is actually what it might be. I'll explain what that is. Here's the 1-2. Adell drives the ball deep down the left field line, but he pulls it foul. And it stays 1-2. The chancla, if you have ever heard of it, is what, if you're growing up, your mother would throw at you when you got out of line. Take the flip-flop off and fire it at you, and that kept you in line.
That was a heck of a hurl across the diamond.
I'm sure some people would tell you that their mother would do the same thing, but so
now
Kevin Newman, 5 years in Pittsburgh, a year in Cincy, last year with Arizona, first year with the Angels. Here's the 2-0. Pop foul behind home plate. He came in as the replacement in a way for the third baseman. He went to third base. Chris Taylor went out to right field to play in the spot where Jorge Soler was. Jerry Seinfeld is here. That's why I just caught him on the camera. Here's the 2-1. It's inside. 3 balls and a strike. He was in his suite eating a hot dog, and somebody said, "Hey, Jerry, you're on TV." And he turned around and saw himself on TV, then turned and just waved.
Oh, I was hoping he'd do you-know-what.
The 3-1 is lined to center field. Taylor makes the catch as Newman flies out.
You know how he clenches teeth and squeezes his fists together, and you could read his lips if he would have done it from the suite. Newman.
Well, I think he was working on, the mustard on the hot dog there. I don't know if he put 2 and 2 together that, Newman was up, Jerry's on TV, but
he's allowed. This is Jerry's down. This is his time.
That's right.
Need to be infringing on his privacy.
Here's Manaea pitching to Travis d'Arnaud. First pitch grounded to short. Lindor to his right, gobbles it up, sets, fires, got him. A very economical 1-2-3 inning and a shutdown inning for Manaea after the Mets give him a big lead. Middle of 4 in Queens. Mets up.
It's a 5-man umpiring crew here today in this young superstar.
And did their feet get tangled up? Yes, so Hoppy Tritt, they got their feet tangled up before the ball came down.
That goes helicoptering into the net. It's pumped on.
And that ball is off the ladder. It's actually off the ladder. You never see that.
A little tumble behind the mound. Hat fell off. That was awesome. I mean, you just don't see that.
around the world. Orthopedic care. Do it right. Here. RWJ Barnabas Health. Learn more at rwjbh.org/ortho.
Here comes the pitch. Foul ball.
For all your home improvement needs, windows, doors, siding, or roofing, visit unifiedwindows.com or call 888-631-2131.
Back here in Queens, we move our way to the bottom of the fourth inning on a beautiful day in New York City. 80 degrees, puffy white clouds, bright blue sky, and the Mets have a 5-1 lead over the Angels. Mets and Angels will both be going out west after today. Of course, the Mets, as we mentioned, going to San Francisco. They'll have the off day tomorrow, and then San Diego. And amazingly, the Angels are going to go home, which is, well, that's not amazing, but what is amazing is they're going to have a 13-game homestand. That is half the month. For them, it's their longest homestand in 14 years. So they'll enjoy a little time on the West Coast. Mets will get to do the same thing. Here's Vientos trying to get comfortable here in his second at bat after bouncing into a double play his first time. Jake Eater sees his second inning. First Angel to do so today. The lefty's first is pulled foul down a left field line. The count 0-1. Eater was on the mound, though, for that third inning where the Mets scored 4 runs. Francisco Lindor snapped his 0 for 31 with an RBI single, but then Pete Alonso mashed one off the facing of the second deck in left center. 0-1. Missed in tight. Sweeper. That's 1 ball and 1 strike. Vientos, though, hits in 4 straight games, trying to get back on the horse here, followed by Terrence and Taylor. Infield playing into Pole down that left field side. Here's the 1-1. Line down the left field line. That's a base hit toward the corner for Vientos. Couple of hops and it's off the wall. Vientos into second with a stand-up double. Hits now in 5 straight games for Mark Vientos, who lost the helmet on his way around first, chugging into second with the double. So the Mets have really hit Jake Eater. And now Luis Torrens will bat. Here's the bottom of the order going to work, as we've seen a couple times in this series. Torrens getting his first action of the series because Francisco Alvarez returned on Monday. Luis second at bat. He's 0 for 1 with a pop out to the shortstop. That at bat was with a man in scoring position. Could not come through, but he's given a chance here to try to bring in Vientos. First pitch sails high and wide from the lefty, and it's ball 1. Bottom of the fourth inning brought to you by Route 4 Hyundai in Paramus, New Jersey. Torrens hitting at .219, 604 OPS. There's the 1-0 pitch. Missed outside. 2 balls and no strikes. As much as Alvarez has been killing it and crushing it, feeling good physically, he's simply not going to play every single day. Gets the day off today after the night game last night. So Torrens back in kind of a backup catcher spot. 2-0. Shot foul to the right. It's 2-1. And Carlos Mendoza, at times when the season was moving along and Alvarez had missed a little part of the year and then came back at the end of April and started to work his way back in. And they were trying to give Alvarez the bulk of the work, but Torrens kept hitting. Alvarez was not. And once it got to 50-50, that was an indication that something was off. 2-1. Hit toward the shortstop. Neto to his left, scoops it up. Throws to third base. Vientos cutting across is cut down at third. Neto to Newman. Newman puts the tag on the sliding Vientos, who runs into an out at third base where he probably shouldn't have. And Torrens is on at first, so the fielder's choice reached, but there's one away. Looking at the replay, was hit in front of Vientos, and he went for it. Neto was moving to his left the other way up the middle. But Neto too good with the glove to decide to throw to first.
And particularly with nobody out at that point, not a good risk to take it all.
There's Tyrone Taylor batting right-handed. 5-1 Mets in the fourth.
Just a base running mistake.
Pitch. In for a strike at the knees, and it's 0-1. I don't know if Vientos found out that he was caught in a spot there where even if he were to retreat back to second, he'd be thrown out, but yeah, probably shouldn't have done what he did there. Now Taylor walked and started that rally in the third inning. Pitch here. Popped in the air to left field. Ward back a couple of steps onto the track now. Makes the catch right in front of the wall. That ball kept carrying, but he was all over it and made the grab just the right of the 358 mark. So he caught it probably 354 feet away for the second out. 2 down, runner at first base, 5-1 Mets. And back to the top with Brandon Nimmo. We're coming to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Nimmo's been on twice. Got the game going for the Mets. Bottom of the first with a solo home run. Then got hit by a pitch in the third inning. Came around to score on the Alonso homer. Pitch here is grounded toward the middle of the infield and sneaks through past the diving Neto and Rengifo into right center. Good read by Terrence. He goes first to third as the ball is flipped into second base. So Nimmo's been on all 3 times. Mets are reset up with 2 outs, first and third. And can Francisco Lindor start a new rally in the right direction? He's got a chance here to give the Mets a little bit more. Francisco is 1 for his last 1 in a sense, after snapping an 0 for his last 31.
He's getting dangerously close to Ray Ordonez, who has the team, quote, record for position players of 0 for 37. That's safe for now.
Lindor is happy to not see that. Switch hitter batting right, 5-1 New York. Eater set, tall lefty, fires home. Misses outside with ball 1.
Did you see Ray play shortstop? Can you remember that far back?
No, I think I was 3 or 4, so it's going back.
You missed something. He was incredible.
Just the highlights. I don't really remember the live shots, but he was one of the best here. 1-0. Missed low and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Fonzie out there. Ordonez out there.
Orud, Alfonso, Ordonez, and Ventura. Sports Illustrated cover asked the question, is this the best defensive infield ever?
Fonzie, I do know. He'd probably tell you yes, of course. 2-0 pitch is in for a strike.
You know that year,
2-1.
The Mets gave up a total for the year of 20 unearned runs. That's how good that team was defensively, especially on the infield. 1999.
Well, these Angels can take a lesson from that Mets team. They've been the worst team in baseball defensively this year. 2-1. Line to left field. There's another base hit for Lindor, and it brings in another run. Terrence scores from third. Nimmo up to second. Lindor makes it 6-1. Hits in back-to-back at-bats and 2 RBIs for the day as he turns around that heater from Jake Eater. Now, just good to see for Lindor, who you wonder, well, is he on the other side of the slump now? I think he is. Here comes Barry Enright, the pitching coach, to talk to Eater. Mentioned he's the long man, but he's not really helping out in that category for the Angels. The thing about Lindor is, Carlos talked about it, everybody sees it, the steadiness. So what you need in this game is not to ride the roller coaster, the ups and downs. They are there, whether you like them or not, and how even can you be? Francisco is about as steady as it gets, and admitted, I think it was on Friday or Saturday after the game against the Reds here, that I've been bad for a while now. I've got to get better. And he knows it, just not going to live and die by it. And the only way you get out of something like 0 for 31 is just get to the next at bat, put on a good swing, pick out a good pitch, all the cliche things. You just simplify. And that's what Lindor has done with 2 singles to snap out of it. So speaking of snapping out of it, Soto would like to do that too. He's 2 for his last 22. Batting with 2 on and 2 out. 6-1 lead in the 4th. Pitch is cracked in the air to center, and that's deep. Adele working back, has room right before the track, makes the catch in deep center, and the inning is over. Mets grab another run on 3 hits and strand a pair. 6-1 New York.
Talk to me.
This is called a Crawford dog. Hamburger bun.
Yes.
2 split top Angus beef hot dogs griddled on the skillet, on the plancha.
Amazing.
And then we do a bacon onion jam with Crawford Bock beer.
Pick it up like a burger.
Pick it up like a burger and you just go in, man.
Let's go to town. Yeah. Dude. Oh, best hot dog I've ever had. Best hot dog I've ever had. I love this, man.
This is how I grew up eating hot dogs.
There's so much history right here. And when I put it on and it's so light, it just feels just right. It feels just right. I mean, look at this. It got the city on it. When I was 7 years old, my uncle takes me where? To Shea Stadium. Darryl Strawberry hits a home run and I become a fan for life.
It's a five-man umpiring crew here today in this young superstar.
And did their feet get tangled up? Yes, so Hoppy Tritt, they got their feet tangled up before the ball came down.
That goes.
SC Delco parts are available at Parts Authority Auto Parts Superstores, where the answer is yes.
We go to the top of the fifth inning at Citi Field. Mets ahead of the Angels 6-1. Sean Manaea is at 70 pitches here, Howie.
Yeah, so probably his last inning. He faces Luis Rengifo to lead off and throws him a fastball that hits the outside corner for a called strike one. Thank you very much, Keith. You got to figure 80, 85 pitches tops for Manaea in just his second start and third outing. The 0-1 lifted in the air to left field pretty deep. Back goes Nimmo onto the track, makes the one-hand catch right in front of the 358 mark. So one away, and Chris Taylor will be next in this fifth inning, is sponsored by Elect Gate 25, building our future. Taylor bounced into a fielder's choice his first time up. At that point, he was the Angels' third baseman, later moved to right field as Kevin Newman went in to play third, and Jorge Soler came out of the game for reasons at this point which have been undisclosed, right? We haven't heard anything about why Soler left. We can only surmise it might be back-related since that's been bothering him recently. So, Taylor, versatile player, and the first pitch to the right-hand batter is taken outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Scoreboard update brought to you by Food Bazaar Supermarket. Shop local, eat global. 1-0 to Taylor. Check swing, doesn't matter. It's on the outside corner. A fastball, 1 ball and 1 strike. I think Justin Verlander is trying to send a message today, at least to the Atlanta Braves, if not to his own team, the Giants. The 1-1 fouled straight back by Taylor. It's 1-2. Remember, we told you how Verlander has struggled so mightily, but today the Giants of Verlander lead the Braves 6-0. Rafael Devers has homered twice, driven in 4, but Verlander in 5 innings allowed just 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, the only fly in the ointment, 5 walks. The 1-2 fouled back to the screen, and the count 1-2. And it's certainly at this point looking, Keith, like the Braves rather uncharacteristically are going to be in seller's mode.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to hear about Marcell Ozuna.
1-2 on the way, chop foul going to the backstop.
So some of their relievers, it's probably a weird spot for them in their front office to be sellers ever. So the rest of the NL East doesn't mind it. The rest of the National League doesn't mind it. But start to look for players you want.
The 1-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a fastball. Strikeout number 5 for Manaea. 2 out, nobody on, and what likely is his final inning of work, but we'll hedge on that. But now looking out of the Mets bullpen, they are getting somebody up. So, yeah, you got to figure this is going to be it for Manaea. And he'll go back to the top of the order and face Zach Neto for the 3rd time. Neto struck out and flied to right.
Huáscar Brazoban getting loose out there.
That's leading 6-1. 2 out, nobody on, top 5. And Manaea kicks and deals. Breaking ball over. Good sweeper. A called strike, 0-1. Reds lead the Nationals 5-0 in the top of the 9th. Nick Lodolo, 8 shutout innings, 4 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts. 0-1 on the way. Breaking ball in for a called strike. And it is quickly 0-2 to Neto. Guys going 8 innings. They have parades these days. 0-2 pitch. Low and away with a sweeper, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's why when we saw David Peterson go complete game, it was like they were carrying him off the field.
Right? It almost felt like calling a no-hitter. Here's the 1-2. Swinging a high pop-up outside first, shading his eyes along the line. Alonso, he's lost it, coming over from second, Beatty. And Beatty makes the catch in foul territory to retire the side. Alonso was fighting the sun, and near the end of that play, looked like he had no...
Five-man umpiring crew here today in this young superstar.
And did their feet get tangled up? Yes, so Hoppy Tritt, they got their feet tangled up before the ball came down.
That goes helicoptering into the net. It's pumped on.
And that ball is off the ladder. It's actually off the ladder. You never see that.
A little tumble behind the mound, hat fell off. That was awesome. I mean, you just don't see that.
If you were to find a jersey, or if you swap a jersey, one of the players on the National League, who would it be? Who would you pick?
Okay, so I got an Ohtani jersey last year, so
nice.
I'm gonna probably say Harper.
Maybe Judge. He's one of the greatest to play the game in the last 5, 6, 7 years, so it'd be cool to have his jersey. Ellie's been fun to watch. Yeah, Ellie'd be a cool one. I mean, his jersey would probably be too big for me. It'd probably go down to my knees.
Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
Play the newest scratch-off games from the New York Lottery. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY.
Pete Alonso takes low for ball one as we begin the home half of the fifth. Jake Eater still on the mound for the Angels. It's 6-1 New York. Alonso a 3-run home run his last time up into the second deck in left field. And the 1-0 is a fastball outside, 2-0. It's the middle of the Mets order. Alonso, Marte, and Beatty here in the home half of the fifth. Pete now at 248 career home runs. Strawberry -4. 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss at a fastball. 2-1. Darryl Strawberry hit his first home run in 1983 en route to winning the Rookie of the Year award in the National League. Played for the Mets through the 1990 season. 3-0 on the outside corner. Check the count. It was 2-1. And that pitch on the outside corner evens the count 2-2, even though the scoreboard for some reason has 3-1. But it's 2-2 to Alonso. And Eater from the third base side of the rubber. Now they correct the scoreboard. The pitch. Swinging a foul off to the right and out of play. Out of the hands of a fan who's sitting in the front row of section 317. I'll tell you, you want to see a little piece of Americana at the ballpark tonight. I'm just loving it. Watching somebody sitting. Here's the 2-2 to Alonso. Swung on and missed strike three. Got him with a sweeper. So Pete, the cleanup hitter, brought to you by Roto-Rooter. Leaf plumbing to the pros at Roto-Rooter. He's down on strikes for the first out. And that will bring up Starling Marte. And I know this is happening all around the ballpark today because it's a weekday afternoon game during the summer. So obviously we've got a lot of young fans here. And here is Marte. Eater's first pitch. Swinging a foul back to the screen. 0-1. There's a young fan, probably about, 10 years old maybe, sitting in front of us with his dad. I'm presuming his dad. The back row of section 318. And I'm watching the loving exchanges between the two of them and how hard this kid's rooting for his club. The Mets breaking ball to Marte in for a called strike. It's 0-2. The kid is on his phone, taking pictures around the ballpark, something that I didn't have or you didn't have a chance to do, really. Even when you were a kid. Yeah, maybe you did. Who knows? The 0-2 foul back to the screen. I mean, unless you brought a conventional camera, but now everybody takes them on their phones. But just watching this youngster in a Pete Alonso jersey and a bright blue Mets cap, sitting with his dad, smiling at everything going on at the ballpark, absorbing the atmosphere, it's great. 0-2 to Marte, fouled straight back out of play. I'm sure it reminds you of sitting in the ballpark with your dad as it does me, and probably would to anybody else who's seen it with their dads or their moms.
Yeah, miss those moments. You wish you could hold on to this as long as you can.
You better believe it. The 0-2 pull towards third. A fair ball going down the left field line. I believe the ball boy made contact with it, so it's whistle. It's
I think it went under the tarp actually.
Oh, okay.
So it's a dead ball and ground rule double for Marte.
Yeah, Marte gets second base. No whistles in baseball.
Is this hockey or what?
I don't know. Never mind 2 minutes. It's 2 bases for Marte as he gets credit for a ground rule double with the ball going under the tarp. But good for Marte in his first game back. He's 2 for 3 with the Mets leading 6-1. I don't know. I just think of that Norman Rockwell type image that he would paint if he saw that scene today. Brett Beatty takes high, ball 1. That's why I know it's not business as profitable as night games are. The TV networks want the games at night. I get all the reasons why. But there's something just so special about an afternoon baseball game. And that scene right in front of us is it. The 1-0, called strike, a slider to Beatty. It's 1-1. Angels a run on 2 hits. The Mets 6 runs on 9 hits. They look for more here in the 5th inning. And Eater's 1-1. Swing and a miss. A little late on that slider that was up. Saw 1-2 to Beatty. Burke worked 1 inning. Bachman worked 1 inning. Eater, the quote bulk guy, is in his 3rd inning of work for the Angels. He's allowed 5 of the 6 runs. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Fastball, and Beatty down on strikes. And so for Eater, that is his 3rd strikeout. 2 men away. And Mark Vientos will be next.
Nobody up in that Angels bullpen. Eater's the long man, and when you're down like this, probably thinking, okay, just go until you're at the end there. He's scheduled to throw about 65 pitches or so. He's at 56 right now.
Vientos doubled his last time up. 1 for 2. First pitch, swing and a miss. A little late on that fastball away at 94. And the count 0-1. Talking about going as far as you can. The Mets had to do that with Brandon Waddell recently. And remember we told you a couple of days ago he was sent down to AAA. The 0-1, Vientos lines it hard to left, but pretty much right at Ward. A couple of steps to his right, makes the catch, side retired. We'll tell you what's happened since with Waddell when we get back. But in the 5th.
Wow. Old school D-backs jersey. This was our alternate jersey that we wore on Saturdays. I was the first team to wear the new colors. They called it Sedona Red. Don't mess up that color. Every time I wore this jersey, I would wear the high socks, black jersey, black hat. I just thought it was a really smooth look, and this is one that I'll never forget.
Do you see yourself maybe one day after baseball, like maybe food critic, food writer?
I would love to do that. That's the plan. I've been doing it ever since I was in the big leagues. It's just fun. It's fun to interact with people like the fans, because a lot of my followers are baseball fans. So it's nice to interact with them on a topic that's not baseball. A lot of people seem to rally around that. I mean, who doesn't love good food?
Sean Manaea's day is done, and a very solid performance for Mr. Manaea today in his second start and third appearance. It's missing half a season with the oblique injury, and then of course the elbow. We don't want to leave that out because that flared up on him, and that cost him a little bit of time in his rehab. 5 great 2-hit, 1-run innings. He yields to Oscar Brazoban, whose first pitch is hit on the ground to second, right at Acuna, who's just into the game and throws to first in time, 1 man out. So 1 pitch, 1 out. Acuna has gone to second as Brett Beatty goes from second to third. Mark Vientos is out of the game. He made the last out in the 5th inning. So the Mets with a 5-run lead get the defense of Acuna in there, and we'll get an at-bat somewhere along the way. And so here's Mike Trout, who's homered for the Angels run, and the first pitch taken high, ball 1. 97-mile-an-hour fastball, sponsored by Spectrum. Life moves, and so should your connections. Get fast and reliable speeds on the internet that moves with you. And the 1-0 taken low, a fastball 2-0, Spectrum. So Manaea, 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and just the homer by Trout. 2-0, fastball missed inside. And it is 3-0 now on Mike Trout. 1 RBI away from 1,000 lifetime. 3-0 pitch. Takes it right down the middle for a called strike. And it's 3-1. Now Brazoban at the waist. Here's a pitch. Swinging a high pop foul outside first. Alonso with room on the grass, backs up and makes the catch while backpedaling over his left shoulder. So 2 men away. Remember, Alonso was fighting the sun on a somewhat similar play, which ended the top of the 5th inning when he appeared to have lost the ball, and Brett Beatty bailed him out with a dash from second to make the catch. Now there are 2 up and 2 down here in the 6th, and Taylor Ward will be next. Brazoban's 42nd appearance of the year. He's 5-2 with a 3.86 ERA. First pitch to Ward, taken for a called strike. And it's 0-1. Mets will have tomorrow off as they will travel to San Francisco after this game. The 0-1 taken for a called strike. It's 0-2 to Ward. So certainly Carlos Mendoza can be a little more liberal with the use of his bullpen today, knowing everybody gets tomorrow off. Here's the 0-2. And it just missed upstairs. A cutter, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brazoban was on his way back to the dugout.
Terenz's turn to ask Eric Bacchus, how much more over the plate do you want it next time?
1-2. Here's the pitch. Up and over the head of Ward. The ball goes so hard to the backstop that it caroms way out to Pete Alonso, standing on the dirt between first and second base.
That's the second time that's happened to Ward this series. Remember Edwin Diaz on Monday? Sailed one over his head, and then the next pitch was in there for strike to end the game, and Ward just stood there, took it. He wanted no part of what was coming next.
Yep, that next one was a slider that froze him. See what Brazoban does here, 2-2. The pitch, breaking ball, popped foul back this way. It was a cutter, actually, that lands above our heads into the upper deck behind home plate. Still can't stop looking at that father and son. That kid has had a smile on his face from ear to ear all afternoon. And so is the dad. 2-2 pitch. Just off the outside corner. Brazoban was on his way to the dugout again. and it's 3-2.
Now when the S&Y box once again had a strike there on the outside corner, so he's up to 4 strikes in this at bat here.
So here's the 2-4 pitch on the way, and it's outside. It becomes ball 4. Brazoban can't be too thrilled about that as he walks Ward with 2 men away and a 6-1 Met lead, and Joe Adele will be the batter.
Do you remember the first game you went to with your dad?
I did. You know what it was? It was an old-timers day at Yankee Stadium in 1961. I was 7 years old. I was just falling head over heels in love with baseball. And I'll never forget when Phil Rizzuto was introduced and came out in uniform wearing number 10. I said to my dad, he played too? I just knew him as the announcer. I didn't know he played. Pitch to Adele, taken down and in, ball 1. And by the way, speaking of old-timers days, the Mets are having one here in September. They're calling it the Alumni Classic. They're going to play a baseball game. The Yankees were going to play a softball game. The 1-0 swung on and missed 1-1. The operative term is they were. And I'm sure they won't admit this, but after the Mets announced that they were going to play their Alumni Classic, a 2 or 3 inning game, whatever it's going to be, Yankees decided to get rid of that softball idea, and they're going to play baseball too. The 1-1 taken high, ball 2, but why no Derek Jeter for Old Timers Day? You know what a great event Yankee Old Timers Day has been over the years?
Is it his daughter's birthday, something like that?
I don't know. But initially he said he wasn't coming, and then I think later on said that it had something to do with a family birthday. And I don't know. All the greats came back when I was a kid going to Yankee Old Timers games and then Mets Old Timers games. 2-1 to Adele, swung on and missed, 2-2. I believe the Mets had an Old Timers game their first year of 1962, and they brought back old Dodgers and Giants and National League greats. 2-2 pitch, check swing, he went around, strike 3, a changeup in the dirt, and that retires the side. First strikeout for Brazoban, no runs, no hits, a walk, and
if you're feeling bogged down by the dog days of summer, Virgo, it might be time to take a beat in the clubhouse before you get back onto the diamond. You've been bringing your A game all season long, and you don't want to flame out before September. Conserving your energy now will help you crush the game late into October.
It's a 5-man umpiring crew here today in this young superstar.
And did their feet get tangled up? Yes, so Hoppy Tritt, they got their feet tangled up before the ball came down.
That goes helicoptering into the net. It's pumped on.
And that ball is off the ladder. It's actually off the ladder. You never see that.
A little tumble behind the mound, hat fell off. That was awesome. I mean, you just don't see that.
we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning with the Mets leading the Angels 6-1. Luis Torrens leads off for the Mets, swings and misses at the first pitch of Jake Eder, who stays on for his 4th inning of work, and the count 0-1. Torrens is 0 for 2. He's popped to short and reached on a fielder's choice and scored. 0-1. The pitch back, swung on and fouled into the second deck to the right of home plate. And it's no balls and 2 strikes to Torrens, who will, in all likelihood, be a more productive all-around player, certainly a hitter. And it's not an indictment of Torrens at all that he's better off playing once or twice a week as opposed to every day. Here's the 0-2. Late swing and a foul back into the second deck behind first base. But, we've seen it over the years in baseball where, guys kind of find their place, where they fit best. Jose Butto, for instance, is back on the Mets roster. He's warming up in the bullpen right now. That's where he's thrived. 0-2 on the way. Taken high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Torrens. You don't like to, label a guy. It almost becomes a stigma when you say, well, he's a backup catcher. But Torrens has been as good in that role the last couple of years as just about any catcher the Mets have had over the years in that specific role. Go back to guys like Todd Pratt, Ron Hodges, Duffy Dyer. Swing and a miss by Torrens, strike 3. Goes after a slider, and Eder has his 4th strikeout, 1 man away. And that will bring up Tyrone Taylor. In fact, I saw where today is the anniversary of the day that the Mets traded Todd Pratt to the Phillies 24 years ago. The Tank was a terrific backup to Mike Piazza. Tyrone Taylor, the batter. First pitch, swung on and fouled. Back into that section to our right behind first base again, and the count 0-1. I'll never forget having been in San Diego when the Mets and the Padres were playing a game, and here's the 0-1 to Taylor. Taken high and away, 1-1. I'm trying to remember. I guess Fran must have been by himself in the booth, and Ralph was getting ready to do a Kiner's Corner, and I think they wanted me to help with Ralph on the postgame. That's why I was downstairs. The 0-1 to Taylor, driven in the air to right center field. Pretty deep. It overcomes Chris Taylor, the right fielder, and he makes the catch, 2 men away. But anyway, I was in the corner of the Mets dugout, the way Steve Gelbs might be nowadays, when Mike Piazza hit a home run in extra innings off of Trevor Hoffman to give the Mets the lead. And when Mike got back to the dugout, he was about 6 feet 3 inches tall. By the time Pratt was finished pounding Mike on the helmet, Mike was, I think, 5'8". It was like a whack-a-mole. I mean, Pratt he was just killing Mike. Here's Nimmo, and the first pitch taken low, 1 ball and no strikes.
So serious, Mike. I just remember Mike's face being so stoic. Did he get a kick out of it, or maybe that was the reason why he was getting hit like that on the head?
At that point, he was just trying to breathe. The 1-0 to Nimmo, taken off the outside corner, ball 2 during this reasonably well-paced game, brought to you by Optimum Fiber. Don't take slow for an answer. Nimmo's 2 for 2, including a home run, also been hit by a pitch and scored. 6-1 New York, the 2-0. Taken down the middle, a called strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. Mike Piazza had great numbers against the Hall of Famer Trevor Hoffman. 2-1 to Nimmo. Now the pitch. Swinging a high pop fly to left field, not too deep. Taylor Ward under it. Makes the one-hand catch, side retired. Nothing across at the end of 6. It's the Mets 6 and the Angels.
So this is MLB Network Talent Stars.
Okay.
The stars of MLB Network. Can I trade a pack of these for a signed Lawrence Shahadi card?
How about we do a little bit of both? Money, a little trade.
Will you open it up and see if you like it?
They're really nice.
If I sign it, does that equal the Lawrence Shahadi 20?
All right.
Do we have a good trade?
We have a good trade. Thank you so much. That was fun.
Nice doing business with you.
Left center Profar sprints over. Oh, he lost it. He did not see that ball. He didn't even come close to it.
These interactions between De La Cruz and Tito Francona have been priceless.
Come on, man. You got it there?
Yes, indeed.
And the ball wasn't the only thing that landed in the basket.
What in the world happened out there to Jung-Hoo Lee?
That's wild. I mean, you don't see that in the big leagues.
Supply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Mets lead the Angels 6-1 going to the 7th inning. And the Mets welcome Jose Butto back. He was on the IL with an illness that cropped up before the All-Star break. So now that he's back, he'll probably be limited to 1 inning today in his first time back. But we'll see. He starts the 7th with a 6-1 lead. Keith?
First pitch to Kevin Newman. Fastball dotted in the outside corner. 95 miles an hour from Butto. Last time he pitched was in Pittsburgh. So the last moment that he had on the mound was in one of the worst series the Mets have played this year. The 0-1. Missed outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. And call it the IL, the illness list, I guess, for Butto. Injury update brought to you by the Rothenberg Law Firm. If you're injured in an accident, the game plan is simple. Just go to injurylawyer.com. 1-1. Newman grounds one left side. Past the diving the diving Beatty and the diving Lindor going into left field. And Nimmo picks it up and fires in. Lindor is very slow to get up. He's actually onto a knee and now on his feet. I don't know if he's just kind of jokingly, he's kicking his foot looking at the umpire, Laz Diaz. Both Beatty dove left, Lindor dove right, and it just trickled by both extended gloves. And Lindor, I guess, gave us a fright, as they would say in Parent Trap. But he's okay at shortstop. Here's Travis d'Arnaud. 6-1 net lead in the 7th. Pitch, swing and a miss. Fastball away, and it's 0-1. As we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. d'Arnaud 0 for 2 today, his first and only action of this series, and his return to Citi Field. Pitch, chop foul, count 0-2. Mentioned the other day when it was David Wright's number retirement. Travis, of course, was not here, but down in Philly with the Angels playing that series. But he put out on Instagram, congratulations to D-Dub, which is, of course, David Wright's nickname. The captain, so grateful, got to learn much from you. Grateful to share a locker room next to you. Travis was a big part of coming up through this organization. 0-2. Missed outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Although he wasn't actually drafted by the Mets, he came over in a deal in 2012 from Toronto with Noah Syndergaard, Mike Nickias, part of that, as R.A. Dickey went to Toronto. That's really the introduction that d'Arnaud had to the Mets, but I feel like he came up with the Mets, grew up with them. 1-2, hit hard to third, off the glove of Beatty, trickles behind him into shallow left. Newman gets to second, takes a turn toward third as Nimmo is up with it late, firing to second. And d'Arnaud has set up the Angels with first and third and nobody out. So 2 balls to the left side, one by Newman that went under both gloves. And then this one was off of Beatty's glove and a ball hit more right at him. Not an easy play right at him, but toward him where he didn't have to dive, but shoot his glove out. And he went down to a knee. Remember, he picked one beautifully last night. Been playing a great third base, but couldn't get that one. And so now the Angels, with their best chance since the 2nd inning, have first and third, nobody out, and Renhefo up. Pitch. Chop toward first, foul. Count 0-1. Anyway, back to d'Arnaud. So traded in the deal with Noah Syndergaard, but that's not the biggest name that he's ever been in a trade with. I mentioned Travis was drafted by the Phillies in 2007. That's how far he goes back to his pro days. 6-1 Mets, the 0-1. Missed outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. He was traded in 07 from the Phillies to Toronto. And who did the Phillies get back but Roy Halladay, the late Roy Halladay. So d'Arnaud's been part of 2 trades for a lot of great Cy Young-worthy pitchers. Hickey, Syndergaard, 1-1, another ground ball foul. The count 1-2. Still crazy to think about. The baseball world is without Roy Halladay. Going on, 5, 6, 7 years now without Roy, who passed away in that plane crash. Crazy to think about. Great talent he was.
I believe he was piloting that private plane, as was Thurman Munson.
Right.
He passed away on August 2nd, 1979.
It's one of those things that when you read and pick up your phone, it just leaves you breathless. First and third, nobody out. 6-1 Mets in the 7th. 1-2. Rengifo scoops it in the air, foul, third base side. It's going to drop away from Beatty, who was falling fast, and he scampered after it but had no chance at it. It stays 1-2.
Lee Mazzilli talks about having been at the plate hitting for the Mets. They're playing a twilight doubleheader with the Phillies when they just flashed a bulletin on the scoreboard.
Oh, man.
That said that Thurman Munson had passed away in that plane crash. There was no verbal announcement made. It was just on the board. Maz said he stepped out and he doesn't even remember the rest of that at bat.
1-2. Rengifo grounds one softly to the right side. Alonso has it, turns, throws to second for that runner. Cuts down d'Arnaud. Meanwhile, Newman scores from third. RBI fielder's choice for Luis Rengifo. Angels make it 6-2. Mets still in front by 4. That's the first out at the top of the 7th inning. So Rengifo now the only base runner remaining. He's at first base. d'Arnaud put out 3-6. So single, fielder's choice. And here's Chris Taylor batting right. Well, just on Roy Halladay. Roy passed away in 2017. That was the offseason right after the World Series had ended. Going on 8 years ago now. Crazy. Pitch. Taylor takes down low and misses. 1 ball and no strikes.
We just got the word it was back tightness that forced Jorge Soler out of the game, so that's been a lingering problem for him.
Well, Newman, who singled, came in for Soler. Singled and scored here in the inning. 1-0, misses low. It's 2 balls and no strikes. So Mets ahead 6-2. Budo's first work back again since the end of June. Not a full month on the shelf. He did have a couple of bullpens, of course, and some minor league rehab work to get his way back. Mets just need a long man like him. 2-0. Swing and a miss. Count 2-1. And again, as Howie said, it's his first work back, so he's at 15 pitches now. The Met bullpen is getting up. Brooks Raley has started to throw in the 7th inning, so who knows if Budo is 20, 25 pitches in his first outing back. 1 out, 1 on. 2-1. Way outside, off the glove of the catcher, Terens, and there goes Rengifo down to second, sliding in without a throw. It's a wild pitch charge to Budo, and it's 3-1 on Chris Taylor. So all of a sudden the Angels have scored a run. They have put another man in scoring position. It's 3-1 on Taylor, and after Chris Taylor bats, top of the order with Zach Neto coming up. And even though it's a pretty sizable lead for the Mets, they just don't play a lot of these games where their offense gives you a big lead to just hold on to. Last night it's a great indication. They held on to a 3-2 lead. But the Angels get the ball to the ballpark. 3-1, swing and a miss, out of fastball down, and it's 3-2. And a lot of teams can do that. It's baseball in 2025, but it's these types of teams with a sneaky good lineup for the Angels that are never really out of a game. Took 2 out of 3 from Philly to start this road trip. Mets trying to sweep them today. Payoff. Line down the right field line by Taylor. That is a fair ball into the corner. Rengifo rounds third. He scores standing up. Taylor to second with an RBI double. And that lead is cut to 6-3 as Taylor shoots one down the right field line. So he takes Rengifo's place at second base. Still just 1 out. And Budo will get a visit paid here by the pitching coach, Jeremy Hefner.
Well, 6-1 seemed like the perfect spot to bring Jose Butto in the game, facing 6, 7, 8 in the batting order. But it has not gone well for Butto in his first outing since prior to the All-Star break. And Jeremy Hefner is checking in on him see exactly how he's feeling as far as his overall strength is concerned. Remember, coming back from an illness as opposed to an injury that really did sap his strength. And they go through so much testing before they're allowed to be activated that you wouldn't think that would be all that much of a factor. But sometimes you just can't allow for the increased adrenaline flow getting on the mound for the first time at the big league level after some rehab appearances and a long layoff. So whatever information Jeremy Hefner needs, he's got now.
Now, meeting on the mound is over. Runner at second base. The batter, Zach Neto, 6-3 Met lead. Pitch missed outside. A fastball. It was off the plate by about 6 inches. That's 1 ball and no strikes. Nolan Shonwell, a lefty, is on deck. Brooks Raley, I mentioned, is throwing. So this could be the last batter for Budo, depending on what happens. 1-0. Grounded toward third, backing up Beatty. Fields on the backhand, slings across in time. Good long throw. Retires Zach Neto. Taylor stays at second. And Mendoza will pop out here to make a pitching change. Well, he'd love to just get Budo here, go to Raley in the 8th, but not going to be the case. Jose got to his number, 20 pitches. He's also given up 2 runs. Mets up 6-3 on the Angels, top of the 7th, 2 outs. Lefty Nolan Shonwell coming on. Brooks Raley coming out of the bullpen. Pitching change, slow down in action, brought to you by Iservay.
You want to get the most for your money. That's why more Mazda buyers choose Ramsey Mazda.
Getting traded to Boston from Chicago. You see here the traditional jersey. I love a road jersey because it says where you're from, and this is simple, clean, and cool. And then you see this patch right here. This is from the 2013 postseason run, which was unlike anything I had ever been a part of, to punch through and hoist that trophy. Boston strong forever, baby.
A snack that Freddie cannot resist.
I would have to say chips and guacamole. Organic mango, yep.
Is that because of the strong Dominican contingent in the major leagues, bro? Has anybody ever struck out and gone crazy and smashed the cooler full of mangoes?
Nah, our team's not really into smashing each other's stuff, I guess.
Are you a seasoning guy? You like to drown your stuff in dips and sauces?
No. Gotta watch my figure.
And it looks great, brother.
I appreciate it.
Very sexy man.
Yeah,
Let's go, Freddie Freeman, ladies and gentlemen.
My name is Keith Rad. The lefty Nolan Shonwell out there batting second in the lineup for the Angels. So all of a sudden 2 runs in the frame. If Shonwell gets on, that'd been the tying run of the plate, and that's Mike Trout is on deck. So really trying to get Shonwell here. Pitch, check swing and a slider down and away. He did not go, and it's ball 1. For Brooks Raley, he's been such an important piece, even if this is only the 3rd appearance back from injury. A lefty, a reliable lefty out of the bullpen. 1-0, misses low. 2 balls and no strikes. This is the first time he has come in mid-inning. He did pitch 2 nights ago, a scoreless inning in the Mets win on Monday, 7-5. Pitched the 8th. Good pitch against Cincinnati. Here's the 2-0. Up and in, and it's 3 balls and no strikes.
Well, if he gets on, you got Mike Trout coming up next as the tying run.
Trout has already homered today. Mets came into the inning up 6-1. And the big leagues, things can change rather quickly. But 2 outs. Runner at second base. 3-0 pitch. Shonwell takes outside, ball 4. So Raley has walked him on 4 pitches. And Mike Trout will stroll in as the tying man in the 7th inning. Luis Torrens, the catcher, takes the walk with Raley up to the top of the mound. This is getting a little sweaty here. We've seen Trout, of course, been the best player in the game for a long time. However, he has been in and out, so to speak, with his performance. At times in this series, he's just simply been beaten by fastballs. And other times, like in the third inning, he goes out to right center, vintage Mike Trout. Which one will show up here? Has dealt with a bone bruise this year in his knee, tore his meniscus twice last year, hamate bone the year before that. First and second, first pitch. In tight, skirts his feet back, and so Raley has missed with 5 pitches in a row out of the bullpen. And kind of like Budo, for Raley, this is the first time he's been in a situation like this, thrown in there, put out the fire. Not just a clean inning, fresh start. He is inheriting base runners. Tying man at the plate, first and second, 2 outs. The 1-0. Trout grounds it foul down third. That's 1 ball and 1 strike. 18 homers, 45 RBIs for Trout. The batting average, though, again, that's the part where it's not totally Mike Trout. 239 batting average with an 831 OPS. That's not the Trout we all know, but it's in there. Raley hoping to keep it in there. Infield back, the 1-1. Missed inside, 2 balls and a strike. Trout for his career is a .296 hitter with a .984 OPS. That's a higher OPS than Soto's lifetime OPS. Trout keeps those hands high. 2-1-2 out, 2-1 pitch. Little ground ball to second base right there, Acuna. He's got it, flipped to first in time. They get Trout and they get out of the 7th inning. But the Angels scored 2 runs to cut the deficit in half. Mets ahead 6-3.
Catcher number 21, Yainer Diaz.
Left center Profar sprints over. Oh, he lost it. He did not see that ball. He didn't even come close to it.
These interactions between De La Cruz and Tito Francona have been priceless. Come on, man.
You got it there?
Yes, indeed.
And the ball wasn't the only thing that landed in the basket.
What in the world happened out there to Jung-Hoo Lee?
That's wild. I mean, you don't see that in the big leagues.
We go to the bottom of the 7th inning under bright sunny skies on this Wednesday afternoon. Mets ahead 6-3 over the Angels, who just grabbed 2 runs in the top of this inning to make it a lot closer. 6-3 instead of 6-1. Francisco Lindor leads off against Jake Eater, still going. First pitch to the righty is in for a strike. It's 0-1. So that last pitch by Eater, the 70th pitch that he has thrown. He knew he'd be the long man today, and they meant it. Here's the 0-1 to Lindor. Missed off the plate with the off speed. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Francisco's had a big game today. The big swing, though, belongs to Pete Alonso, 3-run home run. But Lindor's had 2 RBI singles. He is 2 for 3 for the game. Remember, trying to reverse that tough slump. The 1-1. Grounded foul down third. That's a ball and 2 strikes. But you've got Lindor, Soto, Alonso here. Meat of the order presented by the Chef IQ Sense, a cooking thermometer that pairs with your phone and ensures you never over or undercook your chicken, fish, or meat. Again, buy one at chefiq.com. The lefty Eater ready. Lindor again batting right-handed. Home plate umpire Eric Bacchus called for time. No Eater, a deep breath. Nobody up in that Angels bullpen. Here's the windup and the 1-2. Fouled back, got a piece of 91. That stays a ball and 2 strikes. Bullpen game for the Angels. Taking a risk today. Eater is the 3rd man out. It was Burke for the first inning, Bachman for the second. We thought it'd be a long day of relievers, but Eater's been picking it up for a while. 1-2. Missed outside, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. For the Mets going to San Francisco. The off day tomorrow. Here comes the 2-2 to Lindor. Swing and a miss. Down he goes on the slider. One away in the 7th. The Mets rotation Friday, Saturday, Sunday in San Francisco. Clay Holmes on Friday. David Peterson on Saturday. Kodai Senga Sunday. Remember, that's the night game now, the ESPN game. They picked that up on Sunday in San Francisco. Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, the first two the Mets will see Friday and Saturday. Here's Soto. Mets ahead by 3 in the 7th with 1 out. Left on left. Eder deals. The pitch popped up foul toward the upper deck, third base side. And out of play. Carson Seymour, a young kid, rookie, may start the finale of that series on Sunday for the Giants. He's actually a former Mets draft pick. Traded away. Here's the windup in the 0-1. At the knees outside corner. That was a lethal pitch by Eder. And it is 0-2. I believe Carson Seymour went to the Giants for Darren Ruff in that trade in 2023. Former 6th-round pick. Yeah, that was the Darren Ruff came here. Mets sent Thomas Sapucki, remember him? Nick Swak and J.D. Davis. 0-2, missed low and away. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes. When you think about Darren Ruff, think about Daniel Vogelbach, think about guys like DJ Stewart, think about the DH spot for the Mets. It's been a position they have not mastered yet since getting it in the NL. The 1-2. Soto flails over a slider. Down he goes. Back-to-back strikeouts by Jake Eder, who's not seen these guys for the first time. It's now at bat number 3 here for both Lindor and Soto against him. But Pete Alonso coming up. This is a big inning in a sense for Angels pitching. They just got 2 runs back. The Met lead is 6-3. And here's Alonso, who had a big 3-run home run in the 3rd inning at the time, made it 5-1 Mets. First pitch, in for a strike, a sweeper. It's 0-1. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the New York Mets and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Mets. Pitch. Just missed off the plate at 94. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. By the way, latest on Darren Ruff. He is suing the Cincinnati Reds for running into a tarp that ended his career. The 1-1. Popped up, shallow center, going to dunk in, base hit. Pete Alonso tailing toward right center field. Now Pete is on for the 2nd time. 2 for 4. And Starling Marte coming up. Mentioned Daniel Vogelbach. He's coaching with Pittsburgh now. Ruff out of the game. Suing the Reds. See how that lawsuit goes. Mets ahead by 3. Here's Marte. 2 hits in his return back from the injured list. A single and a double. Eder's first pitch. Breaking ball. Swoops in for a strike, a sweeper, and it's 0-1. Marte in that DH spot. Jesse Winker on the injured list. That back's been giving him problems. He still hasn't really been doing much as far as baseball activity. Kicking the 0-1. Nice stop by the catcher on the dirt ball. That's Darno working to his left, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Mets bullpen appears quiet, Keith. I wonder, not sure about Reed Garrett's availability, but I wonder if Raley might be the bridge to Edwin Diaz, and if we were to see Diaz in the 8th inning at some point.
Edwin was unavailable last night. Mets went with Ryan Stanek closing it out for the 2nd time in 3 days. 1-1. Marte pops one in the sky left field. Ward toward the alley to his left, makes the hat-high catch, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. 2 innings to go at Citi Field. We go to the...
stylish to have superstitions.
Zero. I can't do it. Too many collared cleats, too many gloves, too many webbing gloves, too many bats.
I do put on my right glove first, then the left, then the thumb guard, then I put on my leg guard, my elbow guard.
Same thing you.
8th inning at Citi Field. Mets going for the sweep. They have a 6-3 lead over the Angels, Howie.
All right, thank you very much, Keith. And Brooks Raley is going to face Taylor Ward, cleanup hitter. Right-hand batter takes a called strike, 0-1. And we're straining to see if anybody's up in the Mets bullpen. I think it's just Jose Rosado, who is the bullpen coach. Don't see anybody throwing. The 0-1 fastball is high, 1-1 to Ward. And so that's just what leads me to believe somebody's getting up. Is that Edwin?
Edwin's up.
Yeah.
Yep.
That they might want more than just 3 outs from Edwin Diaz today. Here's the 1-1. Taken low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Now remember, Edwin Diaz, more than most, gets ready quickly. He doesn't need a whole lot of time to get loose. So we'll see what the plan is here. The 2-1 to Ward, way inside, ball 3. Raley faced 2 batters in the 7th. He walked Shannawell and got Mike Trout to ground out on a check swing. Ground ball to second base. But it's 3-1 to Ward. Here's the pitch. And it's a called strike, a sinker at the knees. Full count now on Ward. Adele and Newman to follow here in this 8th inning for the Angels. 3-2 pitch. Swing on a foul, and that one, I believe, caught the catcher Luis Torrens, and the ball rolls up the first baseline. So it remains 3-2. And I'm reminded, by the way, that I started to talk before about Brandon Waddell. We're talking about pitchers, just as Jake Eater today of the Angels has needed to give them bulk because it was a bullpen game, and Eater has done that. Waddell did that as well. And then the Mets option Waddell to AAA, but I'll tell you the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say, after the payoff pitch to Ward, and it's way outside, ball 4. So the Angels get the leadoff man on, and it'll bring up Joe Adele. But anyway, you might remember that in that outing, Waddell at one point appeared to have slipped, and then was just, fixing up some dirt around his landing spot. That was on Friday night against the Reds when Waddell wound up finishing, going 3 2/3 innings. Pitch to Waddell, fouled back this way, like really close, and grabbed by a fan, seated in the next to back row of Section 318. Thank you, sir, for saving some teeth. And the count 0-1. But anyway, remember when Waddell slipped, stayed in the game, didn't seem like any big deal at the time. The 0-1 taken outside, 1-1. Well, it turns out that he has a hip impingement that he attributes, or has been attributed anyway. I didn't see a direct quote from him, but attributed to that particular incident. So he's now on the IL. The 1-1, in for a called strike, a sweeper. It's 1-2. There's some technicality there that works out to Waddell's advantage, because had he simply been optioned and stayed at AAA, he'd be getting paid on a minor league contract. Up here on the IL, it's big league bucks. 1-2 to Adele. Foul to the backstop. It remains 1-2. In fact, I was talking to Mets bench coach and former Mets catcher John Gibbons yesterday, and he was talking about during his days with the Mets, I think it was in 86 or 87. 1-2 to Adele, and now time called. He wasn't playing, and he felt he'd be better served by going to the minor leagues. So he went in to see Frank Cashin, the Mets general manager, and Gibbons did not have an agent back then. 1-2 to Adele. Now the pitch, just off the outside corner with a sweeper, 2-2. Went in to see Frank, said, I'd like to go back to the minor leagues and play regularly there so that I'm ready when you need me. And then he said something to Frank like, same money, right? 2-2 to Adele, fouled back this way again downstairs. And Frank said, no, I would submit to you that if you are playing in AAA, you will be paid minor league wages. Gibby said, oops. He didn't have an agent to advise him. That might not have been the best thing for him to do from a financial standpoint. But Gibby was so highly regarded, eventually became a manager in the Mets system. Later, of course, a big league manager, and now the Mets bench coach. 2-2 to Adele. The pitch. Check swing, a foul going to the backstop, and it remains 2-2. Another big crowd today, 41,591. Mentioned a lot of kids in the ballpark today, and some of them representing various day camps, and you can tell because of the different colored shirts in any given section. A whole bunch of lime green ones up in one section, a lot of orange ones in another section. Got to get back to camp and get that bug juice. 2-2 pitch in there, strike three called. He got him with a sinker. Adele down on strikes, one man away.
And I've completed my Howie bingo. I was waiting for the bug juice.
Yeah.
It's camp day. I've been sitting here for 3 hours, one space to go, and I got my bug juice.
What'd you think?
I win.
You think I was going to leave you in the lurch with that?
I mean, you took me to the brink here. I mean, it's
okay.
It's not the bottom of the ninth, but top of the eighth. I was getting a little nervous.
Well, right now, the Angels are going to go to Logan O'Hoppe to pinch hit for Kevin Newman. So Newman can go back to the post office, and O'Hoppe will head to the batter's box with the Mets leading 6-3, one out, and Ward at first here in the eighth inning. Don't forget, stay tuned after the game for the Verizon Mets postgame show starring Pat McCarthy. For the latest deals, drop into your local Verizon store. First pitch, in for a called strike, 0-1. Why is Pat shaking his head? Did I not punch up starring Pat McCarthy to his satisfaction?
He didn't have bug juice on his bingo card, so that's what happens.
I guess the 0-1 to O'Hoppe. Breaking ball missed outside the sweeper, and it's 1-1. O'Hoppe started each of the two games of this series prior to today. Had 3 hits last night. Had 2 hits, including a homer on Monday night. Here's the 1-1. Swinging a pop foul, going into the seats downstairs to the right of home plate. And it's 1-2. Some scores from the New York Lottery. Play the new scratch-off games for your chance to win. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Nick Lodolo, a complete game shutout. 1-2 to O'Hoppe. High and away, a cutter, 2-2. Reds shut out the Nationals 5-0. Lodolo all the way on a 4-hitter. Well, this is really good news for the Marlins on 2 fronts. 2-2 to O'Hoppe, way outside with a changeup, ball 3. Travis d'Arnaud, the potential tying run on deck if O'Hoppe gets on here, and that might be the cue for Edwin Diaz. We'll see. But anyway, Alcantara helped the Marlins beat the Padres 3-2. Sandy went 7 strong. Payoff pitch. Swinging a high fly ball to left field. He just got under that. In front of the warning track, it's Nimmo to make the one-hand catch. 2 men away, and I think this is going to be it for Raley. Here comes Carlos Mendoza, and he will bring Edwin Diaz into the game here, looking for a 4-out save. Mets leading the Angels 6-3. 2 out, runner at first here in the 8th inning. And this call to the bullpen is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Get out there.
On the train, Roto-Rooter.
Listen to Meet at the Apple, the Mets official podcast presented by P.C. Richard & Son. Join hosts Vito Calisi and Jonathan Barron for exclusive access to the Mets, plus regular interviews with manager Carlos Mendoza. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and the Mets YouTube channel. Well, trumpets in the background. Edwin Diaz on the mound looking for a 4-out save. The Mets lead the Angels 6-3. There are 2 out on the top of the 8th. Taylor Ward is the runner at first. Travis d'Arnaud coming to the plate as Brooks Raley win an inning. He faced 5 batters, no hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. And now Diaz, who had last night off after pitching in 2 straight, and he was electrifying on Monday night when he struck out the side in the 9th inning. to preserve a 7-5 Mets win. Chenoweth, Trout, and Ward all punched out. First pitch to d'Arnaud is swung on and missed, 0-1. As Diaz starts him off with a slider. Travis, 1 out of 3. Mets leading 6-3. Taylor in center, couple steps the other way against the right-hand hitter. In the 0-1, now the slider, it's low. So 1-1. As Edwin Diaz, who is as close as I guess he can be to what he was a few years ago. The 1-1 swung on and missed. Fastball up and in. And it's 1-2. Edwin 5-0. 20 saves. 1.60 earned run average. He has been fabulous. An all-star this year. 1-2 the count to him. Travis d'Arnaud. Here's a pitch. Swing and a foul back to the screen. That was a fastball at 97. Diaz with those 20 saves, 4th in the National League. Ward being held on at first by Alonso. 1-2 to d'Arnaud. Diaz deals. Slider missed, down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Luis Rengifo is out on deck. If he bats in this inning, he'd be the potential tying run. Diaz, 2-2 pitch. Reached for and popped foul. Back into the seats behind first base downstairs. Into the front row of the Hyundai Club seats. So Travis d'Arnaud hanging in against Diaz. Beatty is deep at third, couple strides off the line. Now Edwin brings the hands together. 2-2 pitch. Inside he hit him. He nicked him, I think, on the leg. And Travis d'Arnaud hit by a pitch. And that will load the bases. A slider from Diaz. And Carlos Mendoza wants to make sure that that ball did hit him. It did. No challenge. And now the Angels will bring the tying man to the plate in Rengifo.
Well, this one gets d'Arnaud on the elbow, which he brings back in toward his body. So in a sense, it looks like he moves toward the ball, but he's actually bringing his elbow closer to his body. And that's just a bad break for Diaz, who was ahead. d'Arnaud was kind of swinging with his eyes closed to start the at-bat, and then he hit him.
Oh, here is Rengifo now. He is 0 for 2 with an RBI, a fielder's choice today. And the first pitch, slider, nicks the outside corner. Strike 1 called. He's also drawn a walk. Rengifo 2 for 4 last night. He had 3 for 4 on Monday night. So this native Venezuelan has had a good series against the Mets. It's a better hitter from the left side where he's batting now. The 0-1 is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike, missing with a slider. Ward is at second, d'Arnaud at first, but Rengifo is the tying man in the batter's box. That's about hit the Angels 10-5. They lead somewhat uncomfortably 6-3 with that tying man in the batter's box. 1-1 pitch. Way upstairs, ball 2. Lefty Reed Detmers is getting ready in the Angels bullpen. So not coming easily to Diaz here. Runners walk their leads off second and first. 2-1 pitch. Outside again with a slider, ball 3. Chris Taylor, right-hand batter, is on deck.
You have Yohan Moncada, switch hitter, lefty Lamont Wade Jr., the only 2 bats left on the bench.
3-1 pitch. On the outside corner, the slider. So he got the back door there, and it's 3-2. Perhaps a generous call from the home plate ump, Eric Backus.
Interim manager Ray Montgomery is shouting. He did not like that at all.
Well, we know that Ward and d'Arnaud will be in motion on 3-2 with 2 out. Diaz to the belt, the pitch. In there, strike 3 called. He got him with a slider. Rengifo, in disbelief, puts his hands on top of his helmet. Now slams the knob of his bat down on the dirt as he carries it back to the dugout, having been struck out to end the top of the 8th inning. No runs, no...
Tony Gwynn drop I did with his estate. So we just signed a deal at therealist.com to actually go through his entire archives, present them, and auction them off. And to announce it, we did this limited edition 1994 The Lost Season card. Because, between August of 93 and May of 95, Tony Gwynn batted .406 in 162 games. So in the back, we have the stats of what could have been.
Well, some changes and some activity on the Angels side. Ray Montgomery apparently was thrown out of the game. Ryan Goins is the bench coach for the Angels, so presumably he'll have the lineup card. Remember, Montgomery's just the interim manager with Ron Washington out due to health issues for the rest of the year. Lamont Wade Jr. goes to right. Chris Taylor back to third for the Angels. Brett Beatty leads off, bottom of the eighth, still against Jake Eder. And the first pitch hit on the ground up the middle. The shortstop Neto to his left has it and throws to first in time, one man away. So this is the sixth inning of work. Talk about bulk given by Jake Eder. For a while it looked like the Angels might have to go through a half a dozen out of their bullpen, but Eder, to this point, after getting hit hard early, saved the pen over the last few innings. Gave up 4 runs in the third and 1 more in the fourth. And here's Luis Angel Acuna for the first time. First pitch is taken for a called strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Acuna came into the game in the 5th inning. Mark Vientos started, went 1 for 2. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss at a changeup away. And it's 0-2. Well, Pete Alonso has a 3-run homer. Francisco Lindor, 2 hits, breaking out of his slump, which had reached 0 for 31. Brandon Nimmo, home run, couple of hits. Sean Manaea, solid work on the mound. 0-2 to Acuna, take it outside, ball 1. They all will share Thriving Player of the Game honors, brought to you by ThriveWell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center. Schedule your appointment at ThriveWellInfusion.com. 1-2 to Acuna, who's 0 for 1. The pitch, fastball high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. In the 9th inning, Edwin Diaz due to face Chris Taylor, Zach Neto, and Nolan Shonowell, with Mike Trout due up 4th in that inning. 6-3 in New York. 2-2 pitch. Acuna takes down and in, ball 3. Luis Torrens, the on-deck hitter. It's looking to make it a series sweep and carry a 4-game winning streak onto their flight to San Francisco. Phillies play tonight, by the way. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Acuna goes after a high fastball. And that's the 7th strikeout for Jake Eder. So 2 men away, and Luis Torrens coming up. Phillies are at home against the Red Sox. See if catcher's interference factors into that game as it has the last 2.
Jesus Luzardo against Lucas Giolito. So pretty good pitching matchup tonight.
So now Torrens, who is 0 for 3. Giolito has bounced back nicely recently. Pardon the double adverb.
I wouldn't mind.
First pitch to Torrens. Swung on and foul. Little roller behind home plate. And that one, I think, got Torrens in the foot and might have nicked the catcher Darno on the way down, too.
And Carlos was asked about Luis the other day. He said, well, he's really taking some hits back there catching. Well, here he is taking one as a hitter. Carlos, all he could do is barely hold in a chuckle because, we don't know the half of it kind of thing. When Torrens goes to the training room once the game is done and strips off the jersey and they go, okay, here's a black and blue. Here. He's got to be drenched in ice packs when the game is over. You can hear Eric Bacchus, the home plate umpire, talking to Torrens, saying, I don't like those either. Getting hit again all over the place.
Well, it's 0-1 to Luis. 2 out, nobody on, bottom 8. Mets 6, Angels 3. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That missed the inside corner, a slider. 1 ball and 1 strike.
All right, you got to go 2.
Oh, is that Garnes who just got it?
You want to go too? Go! Bye-bye!
Well, somebody's going to get their money's worth. We can't tell if that's Ryan Goins or not.
What makes you think you can come out here?
Wow, this is a good one.
Well, thankfully, they're keeping it clean. Right now, Laz Diaz, the crew chief, is the third base umpire, and he is trying to quiet things down. But that's another Angel gone. They may have to bring Wayne Randazzo out of the booth to handle the lineup card for the end of this game.
I think that's Tim Laker, who is and this is a baseball game, he's the offensive coordinator. So Ryan Goins is still safe for now. Tim Laker, that's probably why Eric Bacchus said, you think you can come out here? You're not even in charge.
Yeah, bring me somebody important, would you? 1-1 to Terrens, take it outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Wow.
Well, they've got a long flight, too, so what the heck? Get an early shower. Start chewing. 2-1 to Terrens. The pitch. Bounce foul down the third base side near the tarp. And it skims the top of the tarp and rolls out into short left field. So 2-2 to Terrens. Okay, so we were just about to send our best to Ron Washington again. Out with a medical issue the rest of the year. He's the regular manager. Ray Montgomery, interim manager, tossed. Now the offensive coordinator goes. And a 2-2 to Terrens, lifted in the air down the right field line. Deep into the corner, slicing near the wall. But Wade is there, and he makes the catch in fair territory to retire the side. Nothing across at the end of 8. It's the Mets 6, the Angels 3.
We wanted to introduce something new. And then working in some of our past and what the past can look like in the future. I think our players absolutely love it, and our fans, we think they'll learn to love it, especially if you can win in it. You know, that kind of solves everything.
Post-game show for the latest deals. Drop into your local Verizon store. So Edwin Diaz, who hit Travis d'Arnaud and then struck out Luis Rengifo, who did not exactly see eye to eye with Eric Bacchus on that plate appearance, and some of the evidence that we've seen online and the umpires' report cards, and specifically the strike. Well, let's say Bacchus missed a couple there, so Rengifo might have had a point. And Chris Taylor, the first batter, is drilled in the helmet by Edwin Diaz.
I can't believe he's on his feet already. That was terrifying. Helmet popped right off of his head.
And immediately the Angels trainer is out there, and he is going to administer all of the necessary questions and go through all of the protocols to make sure that there is no threat of concussion. But he got that right at the top of the ear flap The helmet went flying off, and that was downright frightening.
He has the extender on. Of course, you have the ear flap that covers the left ear, but then the piece that comes across the jaw that's been in there since, remember when Giancarlo Stanton got, I think it was Mike Fiers crushed him. This caught him right where the brim meets the ear.
At
so
96.
It was protection. Yeah, there was some protection, but, oh, man, that's terrifying. He's going to stay in the game.
Well, it was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball that got him, and he stays in the game. And now the Mets are out. At least Alonso is and Lindor is. They're just calming Diaz down. This is going to bear close scrutiny for Edwin here, too. This is the second batter he's hit of the three that he's faced. You hit a guy in the head with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. That can shake up the pitcher, too. And now he's got to face Zach Neto at the top of the order, so we'll see how this plays out. Neto 0 for 4. The first pitch lifted in the air, foul. Went right back to the fastball, and it's hit into the back of the field level seats behind first base, and the count 0-1. So after throwing 96 and hitting Taylor in the helmet, he came right back with a fastball as Diaz tries to shrug it off. The 0-1, swing and a miss at a slider. And quickly it's 0-2 to Neto. Owen Shannowell on deck. Mets with a 3-run lead here in the ninth, so the Angels need one more base runner to bring the tying man to the plate. They've got power coming up here. Nito's got 15 homers. Shannowell, Trout, Ward to follow. 0-2. The outfield straight away. Diaz delivers. Swing and a bouncer foul in front of the Angels dugout, and Karam's right to the third base coach, Bo Porter. Angels 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors. 3 of those hits, 2 of their runs came in the 7th inning. Mets 6 runs, 10 hits, no errors. 4 of the Mets runs came in the 3rd. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Nasty slider. And Neto down on strikes. 1 away. Second strikeout for Diaz.
Well, didn't show any signs of being distracted by that hit by pitch. All 4 pitches were strikes. Foul ball in there, but right to the zone for Diaz.
Here is Shannowell. 0 for 3 with a walk. Left-hand batter. Alonso playing behind the runner Taylor at first. The pitch in for a called strike. The fastball at 98. And it's 0-1. Shannowell is struck out, flied to right, grounded to second and walked. The 0-1 hit on the ground softly to second, waiting on it Acuna. He's got it, tosses to first in time, 2 men away. Taylor goes to second, but that's big for the time being because Mike Trout can't hurt them too much because this is a 3-run Met lead and there are 2 out in the 9th inning, and now Trout will bat with 1 on. And the Mets an out away.
Edwin the other night blew 99 by Mike Trout, threw him just a bunch of fastballs. He couldn't touch him. See what he does here.
So Diaz ready to face Trout. Outfield around towards right. Trout's home run went to right center. That was in the 3rd inning. First pitch. Slider breaks inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Taylor Ward on deck. He of the 23 home runs. If he comes to the plate, he'll be the tying run. Here's the 1-0. Slider dribbled foul, rolling towards the Mets dugout on the first base side. And it's 1-1. Diaz gets a new baseball and does not waste any unnecessary motion. He goes right back to the first base side of the pitching rubber. Delivers 1-1. Slider over. Good pitch, called strike. It's 1-2. And most of this paid crowd of 41,591 are on their feet. Mets 6, Angels 3. 2 out, top 9. Taylor the runner at second. Diaz to the belt. The 1-2 to Trout. Down and away and dribbles off the glove of Torrens, but Taylor will hold on at second. As another slider misses, and it's 2-2. It's been 4 sliders from Diaz to Trout. Just about everybody on their feet. Diaz ready to go from the first base side of the rubber. Stares into Torrens. Brings the hands together. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Slider popped up. Third base side. In comes Beatty. Left of the mound. Makes the catch. Put it in the books. The New York Mets have swept a 3-game series from the Los Angeles Angels. They have a 4-game winning streak. And who knows, if they get some help from the Red Sox in Philadelphia tonight, Mets might be back in first place by the time they land in San Francisco. For Diaz's 21st save, Sean Manaea picks up his first win in the 9th inning for the Angels. No runs, no hits, a hit batsman, 1 man left. The final score, the New York Mets 6 and the Los Angeles Angels 3. Back to talk about it in a moment on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Murano.
When it comes to protecting homes, shortcuts fail. It's why pros have trusted AZEK Exterior Trim and Siding, the MVP of exterior.
Here, you rehab, relax, recover, and go home. Our state-of-the-art technology empowers your rehab journey with us. Healing from surgery now comes with amenities like Starbucks, smart TVs, and personalized recreation. At Centers Healthcare, what matters most is getting you back to the life you had. Visit centershealthcare.com today or call us at 800-305-9151. Centers Healthcare. We're not just care. We are care that moves you.
Hey, listen to this. All it needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay.
I'm Jonathan Mayo, and for more than 20 years, I've traced the path of baseball's rising stars, navigating the back roads of the national pastime and basking in the glow of small-town America's spirit, where the team is woven into the fabric of everyday life, where it's more than just a game. It's a celebration of the people, the traditions, and the culture that give these places their soul. This is Grassroots.
I'm going to throw out a restaurant kitchen term to you, and then hit me with the baseball one. I'll start first.
Okay.
Mise en place.
Oh, mise en place. That is, as the chef, you put all your different ingredients out, kind of before you start cooking, right?
You got it, man. Yeah. That's the most important
That's a tough one. I hear this one a lot because of my name, can of corn.
Easy fly ball.
Cars for kids, K-A-R-S, cards for kids, 1-877 cards for kids, donate your card today.
1-877 cars for kids, K-A-R-S, cars for kids, 1-877 cars for kids, donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 cars for kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org. Fast starts, big wins.
Dodge Jeep Ram of Paramus. We are fully stocked on all your favorites, like the new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee, now just $334 a month. Plus, don't miss available no money down on every vehicle. No money down. Now that's truly amazing. Now during employee pricing plus, visit ParamusJeep.com.
4 is always less for Ford Paramus.
5524 due at signing. Available with approved credit. See dealer for details.
In baseball, changing the game begins with rethinking it. Like how we can make better calls with instant replay, robo-umpires, strike zone data, and more. The same innovative thinking that changes the game could change your portfolio. Invesco QQQ gives you access to the innovators who are rethinking the world. Invesco QQQ, the official ETF of the New York Mets. Let's rethink possibility. There are risks when investing in ETFs, including possible loss of money. ETFs risks are similar to those of stocks. Investments in the tech sector are subject to greater risk and more volatility than more diversified investments. Consider the fund's objectives, risk charges, and expenses before investing. Visit Invesco.com for prospectus with this information. Read carefully before investing. Invesco is not affiliated with New York Mets Investment Distributors, Inc.
Are you or a loved one living with Crohn's, colitis, MS, rheumatoid arthritis, or a chronic health condition that requires IV medication? Check out ThriveWell Infusion. Say hello to state-of-the-art private luxury suites. ThriveWell Infusion understands that it can be stressful when receiving an infusion, but it doesn't have to be. At ThriveWell, you'll be provided with exceptional care, comfort, compassion, and convenience. Visit us at ThriveWellInfusion.com. That's ThriveWellInfusion.com. Saving lives.